I suppose we'll just start with the best damn intro in the business. Welcome to the show, BALLBUSTERS Live, episode 123. Witless Boy Zero Sky Grifter versus Professor Cream of Wheat Dave. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. I'm going to push it on over to Discord now to the distinguished Brian's Logic. We have 2 injured ball busters that are here now, but they're in the bullpen. And so we're going to push it on over to Brian. Brian, sir.
Hey QE, hey everyone, how are things? Looking forward to this Ballbusters. I'll be looking forward to this review of this video for a good few weeks. And it's the Professor Dave part I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
Because he actually does most of the talking, so yeah.
Yeah. Ironically, it was Brian who sent me this video when I was out of business. And we finally got back to it. So I haven't actually watched it. I watched the beginning part. I also watched the beginning part on Nathan's show. So I think he just did the intros. So we're going to start from the intros forward. I know you don't like that, Brian, but I can't go through the intros again. You know, like the typical debate style intros. I can't do that.
I know. It's just listening to Professor Dave and what he goes on with for those first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can't do it. These debating formats, I guess modern day debates Jedi mind tricked everyone into thinking like this is a modern day debate, or this is debate format, or I don't know. I don't watch presidential debates anymore. I don't know what they do. Do they do the same thing?
I don't know, because I didn't watch the U.S. presidential debate myself, so I don't know.
Anyone watched any presidential debates or any debates of any kind? Did they do that? Did they like have an intro for 85 minutes to present their case? Go ahead.
Not that I can recall. I did watch the presidential debate because I wanted a good laugh, but it just wasn't funny. No, they were just both asked a question and given time to answer back and forth.
I got you. Well, I suppose that's the way it should go. But everyone in this genre and other genres have picked up. Like I said, they got Jedi mind tricked by modern day debates with that stupid intro, right? It's not the only stupid thing with their debate structure, as everyone already knows. I've already talked about it in detail many times. But it's typical. It's the same way this one goes, and I just can't put up with it. All right, from the 2 injured ball busters, you could just say a brief word and then go on, Moot.
Hello.
Evening. I didn't claim I'd gone full Joe Biden and lost all cognitive faculty and couldn't contribute tonight. I just said I wasn't necessarily the most alert. Keep up to speed with the stuff. So
I still put you on injured reserve.
I'm on the bench.
Yeah, it's a baseball and a football. I don't know if they do it in professional baseball, injured reserve or not. I just got baseball on my mind. I almost missed the Ballbusters presentation because I was watching Baseball Bat Bros. Right? These guys just hit. They put a pitching machine out there wherever park they're at. Sometimes it's minor league baseball parks. Sometimes it's major league parks, and sometimes it's just neighborhood baseball parks. And this one gentleman, there's 2 guys, but mainly one guy, he just cranks home runs and he evaluates bats. Well, I was doing that earlier, right? Earlier, I started about 11 o'clock, and I guess time got away from me. I looked down at the clock, and it said 1:42. I said, ah! But ironically, these baseball bat bros, they're ball busters. You see the irony in that? Anyone? No? So I guess I was guilty of watching Ballbusters before Ballbusters. Too funny.
They're hitting them out of the park.
Yeah, I usually use that analogy. Big hanging watermelon-sized curveballs, I just jack them yard. It's going to be real easy probably in this one. I already know one that's going to happen. Professor Dave, I don't know. I guess we can thank JLB. John LeBon. You got to have a JLB if you want to be with me. John LeBon and Timmy Clown. Now, Timmy Clown was the first one I heard state this argument way, way back in the day. But I think he got it from JLB. And JLB's argument, when he was a flat earther, this is what, I don't know, Nathan will have to tell us if he can talk. But JLB was the first one that pushed forward. Maybe it was a Trojan horse he gave to the Baltards, that the stars spin in different directions, whether if you're in the north versus south latitudes. I don't know. Did he start that? Yes or no, Nathan?
I don't think he did. I've heard you ascribe it to him a couple of times. I'm not 100% sure it was him that was the first one to say it, but you seem to have said it many times. I don't know why you've got the idea he was first, but fine, if you say so.
You're
JLB. One of Nathan's favorites.
He's a JLB simp, man. We can't rely on Nathan here. Go ahead to the other injured reserve. Adam Meakin, you were way back here in the day. Who started that dumbass argument?
I mean, the only thing I'd say about JLB I remember is him bringing it to Flat Earth debate. I'm sure he used it there.
Oh, he definitely used it there. Yeah, I held him to task on it.
No, it was back in the day. It's one of those things that was out there for us to rebut. It was just it was almost like baller rhetoric, if you know what I mean. It was one of the things that was out there.
Yeah, the first person that, like I said, it was Timmy Clown. But Timmy Clown didn't start that nonsense. I don't know whether, I don't care. I guess it doesn't matter who started it. It was one of those two Beavises. I think I got it pinned down. But as I remember it, as I recall, and it's fresh in my mind, that there was no answer to it from the flat earthers at the time. They just blew that argument off. It was right when I heard it within the first day that I entered the realm. Yeah.
So you're trying to track down patient zero?
Yeah. I'm trying to assign some blame to this utter retarded argument that the Baltar, and it's 2024. I can't believe they haven't figured it out. Now, I can't attribute it to they. That's a stereotype fallacy. Let me attribute it to Dave, Cream of Wheat Dave. But it was, what's his name? He's a real clown. You know, used to be a regular on the Baltard circuit. I got a bunch of not thumbnails. Not treatments. Numpty clips. Kosho. The clown show Kosho. He was the last one that I remember because he come in 24/7. And he brought it. Well, the stars spin in opposite directions. And Miggy nearly fell off his chair. Everyone started laughing at Kosho. And I would say that was in the 2021 timeframe. Right around, it was after the Black Swan, no doubt about it. So some of these guys still run with this absolute idiot argument. Professor Dave, it's his silver bullet for his Baltard, if you can believe it. We're going to listen to him here in a few minutes.
I'm just wondering real quick, because if you're describing spin, you need to describe it from a plane of rotation.
Yeah, but it's incredibly stupid long before we get there. But I agree.
I mean, the moment you say the stars are rotating,
yes,
to describe that rotation, you need a plane of reference. Now, the idea that you're antipodal still requires the plane.
I understand that, but it's completely stupid before you get there, John. John. If you got a Baltard,
I know.
If you got a Baltard, number one, that states the stars are spinning, and all he has to do is say that. What's the problem there?
Within his religious rhetoric, the stars are not spinning.
Exactly. That's just number one, right? We didn't even get to anything yet. The real stupidity is yet to come, right? Because he's saying that the stars are spinning in opposite directions. That, like I said, number one, in his paradigm, the stars aren't spinning, the Earth's rotating. Number two, what he's saying, what he's implying, the implication of the claim is, if you think through it, that in the northern latitudes, the sun, moon, and the stars rise in the east and set in the west. But in the southern latitudes, the stars, sun, and moon rise in the west and set in the east. That's number 2. Right? I mean, we're off in Never Land. This is beyond retard. Because he's never thought about it. He's just mindlessly parroted. Right? Number 3, he doesn't know what directions are. He gets confused between subjective directions and objective directions. He thinks left and right, forwards and backwards, and counterclockwise and clockwise are actual directions. You're going to see him do it. I mean, there's layers of utter imbecilic, pathetic, feeble retardation at each step. But that's his number 1 silver bullet, folks. I present you, Professor Dave Cream of Wheat. He says it proudly, too, with an attitude, which is, it's so special to me. Thanks, Dave. In retard. 2024, dude. I don't think the time's going to help you. But we'll see it. And then finally, go ahead, top it off. John, go ahead, say it again, because I rumpushed you a little bit.
Yeah, even if you grant all their ignorant, fallacious logic and the non sequitur, baseless assertions, the description requires a plane of reference. So at best, all you've done is give a bad description of a flat plane.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to go for a minute. Brian, take over, man.
Yeah, John, because no matter what they do, they have to start with that plane of reference for every part of their model, or not model, but paradigm. So, this is the funny thing, when it comes to rotation, they have to start with a stationary plane and then make all the stars rotate around it, which is what we see in reality. And then they've got to freeze that plane, that plane, and then make all the stars rotate. But how they do that then is still the same exact thing from a center point, because if you can't change it, if you understand what I mean. Even if you stop the plane, you still have to, the angles of the stars to the center of that sphere will still give the same effect over the plane, if you understand what I mean. Even if you're rotating, yeah, as a diagram, like, yeah.
It basically is, you can believe that the stars are rotating with respect to the flat plane, or the flat plane is rotating with respect to the stars. That is the false dichotomy. But in neither case is the Earth a sphere.
Exactly. In either case, do we have a sphere? We have a flat plane at all times. The biggest joke of all is what they do with vernal equinox. When they extend their equatorial plane out into their celestial plane, giving them a much huger plane, then they make it stationary and make the celestials rotate above it. It's just like, what? And that's supposed to be globe proof.
No, that's all roads lead to flat Earth, right?
Well, that's what it really is.
That's one. So are you saying that to have a rotational axis, there must be a horizontal plane of reference? Is that what you guys are saying?
Yes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that to describe rotation, it must be described from a plane of reference.
That's what I just said.
Like,
yeah, you can't.
Well, it doesn't have to be horizontal.
Go ahead.
By the nature of the description, it doesn't have to be horizontal, unless you're applying it to standing on Earth looking at the stars. Then yes, it absolutely has to be horizontal. Then.
So we can have a vertical plane of reference to describe a rotating axis?
No,
Yes,
it's always got to be horizontal from the observer's point of view.
Oh, hold on a second, Brian. Go ahead, John.
That's what a bicycle wheel would be, right? You have the vertical plane of reference as you're pedaling. The spin is described from that vertical plane. Still a plane. That's all they're doing. But they're, instead of rotating their sphere to account for them moving across the plane, they're spinning the plane and holding the sphere fixed. It's nonsensical.
Oh, I think I'm tracking with what you're saying. Go ahead, Brian.
No, they can pretend orientating it in any direction, but really it's always going to be a horizontal plane for the observer. That's what they're always. You know what I mean? They have to depict it. What are they going to depict it as?
Yeah, there's two I should have probably delineated the two paradigms. I didn't do that. In our reality, if they're going to describe a rotating Earth, they're going to need a horizontal plane. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think I got you now. Yep. All right, let's get on with this since no one's being talkative except me.
I have 1 point.
Go ahead, you got a point. Go ahead. Yep.
It's not that they need a plane. It's that what we had to begin with, the reference, was a plane. And they've taken that information and turned it into their ball. So it's not just a bit of phraseology change it's not maybe that big a deal. But if you're going to say they need a plane, it's like, no, we have a plane of reference when we're describing the stars. And that's what we started with.
It all starts with Kepler's analemma. That's where it starts with. Kepler's analemma, as because what he had to do was back engineer all the observations off of a flat stationary plane that we can take of the sun. You have to back engineer them into us rotating around the sun, and that's where the tilt and the offset elliptical orbit comes from. Because the only way to make it work was to tilt the sphere and create an offset elliptical orbit because of the path, the apparent path of the sun that we see. So that's where it all starts and ends. It all starts and ends there. That's where all of that comes from. Because without that, there is no anything else. There was no globe before that. There was nothing before. It was just flat plane before that. Everything starts and ends with Kepler.
Yeah, well, there's something else too that, QE said it a long time ago, and I think it's more important now than ever is we don't live on a model. Why are you asking me questions about reality as it relates to a model? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We have flat earthers now giving the globetards their model. Everyone's got models now. How long have I taught on this saying, what in the world are you doing? What is a model? I guess I don't know. I guess somebody mind tricked everyone. Now flat earthers saying, oh yeah, your globe model. Well, your globe model says this. Your globe model explain what? Not many people in our vicinity do that. There's a few still leftovers that have their own agendas. And they forget about that part. Not anybody on this panel, though.
No, I just call it a paradigm because that's what it is. It's a paradigm they're looking for you to accept that you live within. That's all it is.
No one's feeling guilty, right? The shoe's not fitting, is it?
No, because I call it a paradigm also.
That's weak. We know what you mean.
All right, I'll confess. I may have said model.
I wasn't thinking of you, Regis. All right, too funny. Okay, let's get this going then. Everyone's come here for, the title of the show. I guess we can get into what we ate. What's for dinner? No, I'm only kidding. All right, let's do this. I'm going to start it up. Go ahead and hit the QE live stream in Discord. I'll play it for 5 seconds. get a sound check. Make sure you guys can see it. I'll do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5. I'm going back the other way. I had to check my sound. Hold on a second. 2, 1, now.
Okay. Why don't what was the first particular topic maybe that?
Shut up.
Oh good. Oh good.
Everyone good?
Yep.
Let me check
Peachy.
YouTube. Let me check YouTube land first. Let me see if they heard it. I just want to make sure. So you know how this goes. YouTube, how's that sound to you? Just give me a thumbs up. Give me go or something like that. Or shut up or something. Sounds good, guys. Thanks, Kim. Kim, how are you listening to it on YouTube and being in here at the same time?
I've got it muted over there, and just the screens are side by side.
Sensual Goat says yes. Thank you. The screens are side by side, so you got a little button. I hear Booger in the background.
Yeah, he's sitting next to me.
Okay. Hey, Booger.
He said what? I guess he just heard booger, not hey.
Hey, Booger. What's for dinner, Booger?
Cereal.
He just ate
Cereal.
He ate cereal earlier.
Sure.
That used to be my dinner as a kid.
Shut up, Neil.
Oh, that's not gonna be his dinner. No way.
Yeah, it's going to be steak tacos. We already talked about that, though. We're not going to get into that now because we don't want to send Nathan off the edge. He's real close right now, so we're not going to do that. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I already pulled a fiver. Oh, let me introduce this. This is okay. Remember now, folks. This is Flat Earth Debate. Professor Dave versus Witless. This quartering guy, I've never seen him before in my life. You got the moron, cream of wheat Dave. We all know who he is. Debunked his dumb ass like 5 years ago. Just go onto my channel and hit Professor Dave. Get the popcorn out. And to a lesser extent, we got the two alpha right here. Shits it, Boy Zero Sky Grifter. So this is a debate between these two knuckle draggers and this guy. What can go wrong? Here we go. I guess this happened, hold on, 13 days ago. That's not that long ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago.
Why don't what was the first particular topic maybe that Dave?
Why don't what was the first particular? That's a sentence fragment. Already.
You want to poke around?
Well, Austin is denying this idea. He's insisting that
Austin is denying. No. You have to prove you're globetard, right? This is where you come out. Like I said, I can't remember the intro, but anyway, this is where you come out and definitively prove we live on a globetard. That is your job. Nothing with Boy Zero. Yep. So this is Deuce 7 offsuit to me already. If you would have said something like that, I would have smelled Deuce 7 offsuit. It'd have been your ass in 15 seconds. But no, we got the docile one, Boy Zero. Just let that go. As long as I'm polite to him. Thanks, clown.
default position is the flat plane, empirically, observably, everything observable. Okay, so explain the observations.
Why should he explain anything to you? Number one. Number two, explanations are worthless. I know why you're doing it. I'll get to it in a second. Explanations on their own are absolutely worthless. I lectured Boy Zero Sky Grifter over a week ago on this. But it ain't going to affect him. Explanations are merely just so stories I can go down to the corner to the village idiot, and he can give me explanations. He can explain just about anything at a drop of a hat. They're worthless. I've taught on this, I don't know how many times, during the spinning ball-tard space monkey arguments, the disheveled ones. This is one of the first tactics that they use. It's not Austin's job to explain why you live on a globe-tard, sphere-tard.
It's from antiquity that I told you. How are you?
From observations from antiquity. So that's an argument to age fallacy? You're not starting off too strong there, Dave. So let's get the full thought. Here we go.
Okay, so explain the observations from antiquity that I told you. How are you getting?
What? How are you getting? No. How are you getting a sphere tard, Dave Tard? Do 7 offsuit, folks, right off the bat. Right out of the gate.
The sky to rotate in opposite directions.
Here we go. We already went over this. I don't know how many times I need to go. Do I even need to say anything?
Oh no, leave it roll. It'll come up again another 90 times.
90 times, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just let it go.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Is this an observation in antiquity that the skies appeared to rotate in different directions? This is what they've said so far.
Yeah.
Explain the observation from antiquity of sky rotating in different directions.
Yeah.
What you claim, Dave?
You're right, Adam. Good catch. Good catch. Is this just from antiquity? Have they stopped rotating in opposite directions currently? That's what you're implying with that statement. He's so look at the look on his face. You need to be institutionalized, is what you need to be. How many subscribers do you have? Why? You're retarded. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I guess there's a lot of dumb people in the world, Dave. They have to be dumber than you to be a subscriber.
Depending on where you're standing. Let's start with there. How observable is that? How does that fit with your default?
This is what always happens.
Are you going to try to explain that, idiot straw man? Unbelievable.
Instead of providing evidence that the surface is curving, you're saying.
Now I agree. Now you should hammer that. Exactly. Good job.
Well, but if it's not, then how does this happen?
No curved surface. You said the default position, flat plane. I'm asking you on your flat plane, explain the observations of the celestial sphere. And then
explain the observations of a celestial sphere on your flat plane. First of all, I don't know if he knows it's flat. The other two for David Weiss, he was non-committal. And in fact, it was even more than that. It could be this and it could be that. So, however, I've given you a positive. You held his feet to the fire for a little bit of a second there, but Dave's just going to repeat his same old nonsense. What are you going to do? Because you're one of those guys that somebody asks you for an explanation. I mean, your eyes get real wide, mouth starts salivating because you're Mr. Explanation guy, right? Let's see what he does.
In the north, you get counterclockwise rotation. In the south, you get clockwise rotation. Explain that to me on your default flat plane. Explain it.
Yeah, so the counterclockwise and clockwise direction is super simple. It's based on looking different directions. Your better question is, why does it go around a singular point?
No, that wasn't his question. Do you hear that? You just strawman this idiot retard Dave. That wasn't his question. His question was concerning the rotation in different directions. Counterclockwise and clockwise. You just stated it. I don't get it. Go ahead.
To speak to his question though, he said, explain how these observations within the celestial sphere with respect to a flat plane work on a flat plane. That's not a how question. That is a self-answering question at best.
Isn't he said Professor Dave explains on YouTube? So shouldn't he be explaining it?
I don't know. We're off the reservation here now. Look at these two bozos. It's directionless drivel. So when are we going to get to the meat? What? Wait a second. Boy Zero might start to explain this again.
Is what you're trying to say?
No. I'm asking about the direction. I'm asking about the direction.
Just looking opposite directions would make them go the opposite directions.
Just looking opposite directions will make them go opposite directions? What? That is just stupid.
No, he asked, will. I think he asked them, will looking opposite directions make them go opposite directions? I think he was just bringing up the absurdum of it.
Okay, let's see if he answers.
All go east to west.
If you put a clock on your ceiling, which way can you face to make the hands go counterclockwise?
Oh, boy.
This is such nonsense because it's exactly the same thing. If you face towards the center of the clock on your ceiling, then the hands are going to be going, I think it's from your right to your left. And if you turn around and face where towards the outside of the clock, they're going to be going from your left to the right. It's like, when I heard this, I laughed at it a few times, so I'm not laughing now.
Right.
But I laughed out loud. It's like, what? A clock on your ceiling? He can't even work that out.
Nope.
And how can a clock go anti-clockwise?
It would be an anti-clock.
Yeah.
So, he's trying to Jedi mind trick everyone. He's got a clock going anti-clockwise.
Yeah, not analogous. The stars drop.
No, it is though, because the hands on a clock. The hands on a clock.
You don't get it,
right?
You don't get it. The stars drop due to perspective. So,
what do the stars drop to perspective or from perspective have anything to do with his retard argument?
You mute when you're playing, Kiwi.
Oh, because is it coming through?
Yeah, a little bit.
Thanks. Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and turn it down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. So back to my point. What does perspective and the stars dropping have to do with Dave's argument? The retard argument, nothing. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I think we need to get the Adderall drip out. Is what we need to do.
Yeah, it makes no sense to just address what he's asking.
Yeah,
that's all you have to do.
This entire debate should be over because Boy Zero Sky Grifter, Cream of Wheat just gave you a hanging watermelon-sized curveball, a naked one, for you to jackyard. You could embarrass him right now and end this debate. It's not a debate. You can end it and just laugh at him. What are you going to do?
When he hits the ball, do you think the ball will travel east to west? Or if he turns the other way, go west to east?
It'll go left to right.
I don't know.
Actually looking out towards them, not directly up. Did you know?
What did he just say? Sorry, guys. I'm going to pull a fiver. Let's pull a hole, Jay. So Dave's argument, very simply, is the stars are rotating in opposite directions. What's your response?
It is though, because the hands on a clock. The hands on a clock.
You don't get it,
right?
You don't get it. The stars drop due to perspective, so we're actually looking out towards them. Not
stars drop due to perspective is not an answer to that. It's non sequitur.
Didn't you just be laughing right now? Okay. Just laughing at him when he keeps going on. Just like giggle at him like he's a child that has no kind of 3D perception in his own brain. Can he not? Generally, my response will be incredulity here. You are joking, David. You really don't get this. Whether it, be it on a ball or whatever, it's the same principle that you're not comprehending.
Yes, but it's not Dave's problem now. He's giving it over to Boy Zero. Boy
That's
Zero.
what I was going to get into.
He
Sorry.
doesn't want to deal with
Sorry.
that problem. He wants to deal with perspective. Yeah, which is what I'm saying. Don't. What are you doing with it? Just laugh with incredulity at Dave's lack of understanding of this just as a concept.
Go ahead, Nathan.
That was what I was going to
Dave's
drop in and say.
absolutely right.
So, yeah, Dave has still managed to successfully flip the burden, hasn't he? Whitsit's now into trying to give his explanation for it with perspective. What are you doing? I think you're right. You should just be incredulous towards Dave and roll his eyes. What he's done is successfully had the burden flipped on him.
Yeah, it was needless. Why? And he's not answering the question. Witsit, even though he shouldn't be explaining squat, he's not debunking it. What does the stars spinning in opposite directions have to do with his response that of perspective of stars nearing the horizon? What? So I don't get it. There we go.
Not directly up.
Well, it
Did you know
depends on
that?
your latitude, right? Depends on your latitude. If you're
So
at
do
the
you
equator,
agree-
if you're at the equator, they're going from horizon to horizon.
Wait, do you agree?
Wait a second. How do you have a horizon on a Baltard?
Is it the first time he's mentioned latitude?
I think he might have mentioned it during the intro that you went over the other day.
Sure, but in this show, for us responding to it for our audience now, is this the first time he's mentioned latitude?
I think so.
What's latitude?
Flat plane measurement.
They're horizontal plane measurements that we use with elevation angles to Polaris.
Oh dear. They'll need a bit of flat earth for this.
Yes, you will. But Witsit's getting ready to explain. I think Dave's going to talk about his clock again or something. I don't know.
Agree that if I was looking out and something was spinning one way and then I looked at it from the other direction, it'd look like it was spinning the opposite
No,
way.
it
Yes or no?
wouldn't.
Yes, see, stay on. Now you're back with us. Thank you. Now you're back to
But
it.
he's wrong.
Now you're back to it, Boy Zero Sky Grifter. He's not. Witsit's not wrong here. He's right. So stay on this.
No, he's not. Put a clock on your ceiling and try.
Now, what kind of moron is in my group chat? Who is interrupting this? You friggin' Professor Dave idiot moron. That's what Dave just did. Do you think the stars spin in opposite directions, moron? Come off mute. Who just said that?
I did.
Mr. I less than 3 Jesus moron. Do the stars spin in opposite directions, be it the north versus the south latitude?
Yes.
You are a retard, sir.
No, that actually happens.
You
can try it
frigging
yourself.
retard.
No.
So what you're saying, Mr. Actually happens is the sun, moon, and the stars rise in the east and set in the west in the northern latitudes. But in the southern latitudes, according to you, the stars, moon, and the sun rise in the west and set in the east. Those are opposite directions. You
No, that's
abject
not at all.
retard.
That's not at all what I'm saying. No, that's not.
Yes,
what I'm
that
saying.
is. That's what you're
No.
saying. You just don't realize it because you're a moron.
It's exactly what you said. It's exactly. When you were asked, do the stars north and south rotate in opposite directions, you said yes.
So, all the stars, the sun, and the moon, save for Polaris, no matter where you are on Earth, rise in the east and set in the west. Tard.
Yes, absolutely. Dave.
Yes, then that goes against your entire argument. You just contradicted yourself.
This is the thing, though, isn't it?
No, I didn't. There's two things that are happening at the same.
same.
Two things can be true.
Shut up. He's done. We're not doing this with moron. He's exposed.
No, we've got one or two things, haven't we? Here, we've either got retards, absolute retards, yeah, or deceivers. It's one of the. What are they here to do? Just demonstrate their retardedness or try to deceive people. Well, that's the outcome.
He's not going to shut up, though, Adam. He's going to go on and on. He doesn't realize.
No, I don't. I don't want him to. It's quite funny that he's popped in doing the same thing as Cream of Wheat, isn't it? But what will
Why is he trying to explain this? Is he retarded?
No, there's only one question that I need to ask this guy, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Is clockwise and anti-clockwise different directions?
Sort of.
Incorrect. None of them are directions.
Okay, yeah, so I said sort of because it's not.
No, none of them are directions. Sort of means you kind of agree with it, which means that you're. Yeah.
He said sort of. He didn't know the answer. Yeah, that's why he said sort of. So probably a retard then.
Yeah, he's retarded and he's done. He's done here. Maybe he can wait to the after show. I'm not wasting my time with him. We're back to the principles. Where were we even at? Let's pull it, Jay.
Hey, before you do, could I just say this is the problem with believing you live on a model, because now Witzit's trying to give an explanation for what we see in reality after their description from a model of a flat plane with antipodal positioning. He is trying to explain that. I don't know why. It's just ridiculous.
Let's pull it, Jay, so we get back on business. Here we go.
The equator, they're going from horizon to horizon.
Uh-oh, we have two problems here. Number one, how do you get an equator on a globetard? Number one. And how do you have a horizon on a globetard? Those are...
Two horizons.
Yeah, two horizons. Yeah. See slope a dope if you don't know what I mean. So let's see. Let's see what Boy Zero does.
Wait, do you agree that if I was looking out and something was spinning one way and then I looked at it from the other direction, it'd look like it was spinning the opposite way?
No, it wouldn't. It would.
Yeah, it would. You're a moron. You already been exposed. Good job. Now stick with this point. Explain to him what directions are and then implicate him with his claim, because it logically follows that the sun's rising in the west and setting in the east in the opposite latitude. Just stick there, and it would be over.
Wouldn't.
Okay,
That's why you just said, if I put a clock on the ceiling, right, which way, I'm asking you, which way you just said, if something is spinning one way and you look a different way, it'll spin another way.
What?
Please put a J on that.
Do you need a J on that?
Yeah, it's just as funny.
All right. There we go. Listen to this. He should be straitjacketed.
Which way you just said, if something is spinning one way and you look a different way, it'll spin another way.
You got to look at Witsit. He's giggled and look at his face. So that's the correct response. Well done, Witsit.
Yeah, but he said that. Witsit said that. Listen, remember?
Witsit did.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull a J. Let's get the whole. Listen to what Cream of Wheat says.
You just said,
you just said,
I put a clock on the ceiling, right? Which way, I'm asking you, which way you just said, if something is spinning one way and you look a different way, it'll spin another way. So I'm asking you, put a clock on the ceiling. Which way
He said, yeah. Boy Zero said, yeah.
I think that was a yep as a very sarcastic, you're an idiot yep.
I don't think so.
But it's true. I mean, if you stand and look at the opposite way, it'll appear as if the clock is not going in any direction.
Oh, boy.
If you know what I mean. It's like, if you're looking towards the center of it, it's going to go, I think, over your right shoulder and then to your left. If you turn around and look away from the center, it's going to go over your left shoulder and then to your right, or vice versa.
Oh, boy. Somebody save me from this.
Yeah, just spin past it. Let's just spin on maybe 2 minutes.
We are.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, we're going past it. Here we go.
you face, that'll make the hands appear to go counterclockwise.
You obviously don't comprehend what I'm saying, Dave.
I think you don't understand what I'm saying.
Do you agree that things will appear to drop due to perspective?
Here we go. Things will appear to drop due to perspective. What does that have to do with this point? With this retard point? Dave's retard point? Nothing. He's going back down this road again. What on earth is happening here? I don't know. That's rhetorical. You don't have to answer that.
Perspective.
Why are you talking about perspective? I'm talking.
He's right. Why are you talking about perspective? He's correct in that. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Because you don't understand it. So
No, you're trying to obfuscate.
No, I'm not. If the stars are above me
Let me help
on
you.
a plane and I
help
look
you
out, they're going to look like they're dropping down, which means
Look at
I'm
this, buddy.
looking out at. You don't even understand basic stuff.
You're not answering his question.
You know who else did this?
Who?
Hide behind a globe.
Oh,
Abe Weiss.
yeah. Yep, he did.
think?
He hid behind the globe. What's this, cream of wheat? What you got right here? Is this your model? What's the black stuff?
Stuff, dude.
Look at this. Hang on. Where's the camera? Which way is this turning? Which way is this going, buddy?
Which way
this
is
going?
that turning?
I don't know. Which
You don't know which way that's turning?
way is it going?
Yeah, which way is it turning?
Who cares?
do you mean, who
What is
cares?
Why
Tell me-
are you obfuscating away
Is it
from
going
what I'm saying?
counterclockwise? No, I'm talking about exactly what I'm talking about. Is this going clockwise or counterclockwise? Come on, just give me the answer, buddy. You can see it.
To be fair, the webcam is mirrored.
Oh, God. Who is this?
That's the host. That's the quartering.
The court. So Jabba the Hutt comes in here, and you get involved in this. Maybe you should get involved to stop it. Maybe.
So it might be.
Oh, it
might
is?
be- I think so. So
No, I don't know.
Why
I
are
don't
you? Hey, Jabba. Why are you answering Dave's question? Isn't this?
He's right. If they weren't mirrored, it would just be saying, well, obviously it's going west.
What's
There's
the-
another fun thing about that.
Word east and west, do they?
They don't know what east and west and north and south are correct.
Well, even if you're going to just talk about counterclockwise and clockwise rotation, right? You'll have the plane of reference of rotation, and depending upon your position with respect to that plane of reference, you can describe it as counterclockwise or clockwise, as given with a tire rotating, right?
Yes.
You can stand on one side of it and say it's going counterclockwise, stand on the other counterclockwise.
Yes, we
But that's
understand that.
with
We
respect to
understand
the-
that, John. We
but-
understand that. However, those are not directions. You're correct, but those aren't counterclockwise and clockwise, left and right, forwards and backwards are what they call subjective. Now, if you want to put directions in there, you can. They're actually not. The directions are north, south, east, and west. Those are the directions. Objectively.
What they're describing is again the quartering, although we mock him, is halfway to realizing that it's relative to your position and your perspective and your view. And they're sort of going back and forth about this, with Whitsitt dragging in perspective like it's not a non sequitur. Dave saying you're trying to obfuscate because he can't identify a non sequitur fallacy.
Yep.
It's just a train wreck.
Yeah, this whole thing's a train wreck, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but they're tying by all I was trying to say is they're using a plane of reference and your description of an angular rotation with respect to it to east and west, which are you need a horizontal plane of reference to describe those directions. But I don't think they know what they're doing.
Yes.
Even if Whitsitt answers wrong, it's still a flat plane.
Sorry about that. I stepped away for a second. Okay, here we go.
I see it going counterclockwise. I see it going counterclockwise.
Yeah, that's how
That's going
Let-
counterclockwise, right? Just say it, Austin. Just say it.
It looks like that, yes.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going counterclockwise. Or is that a direction, Boy Zero? Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay, so we keep it turning.
Do you think I don't understand the concept?
No, I'm
Which direction is it going now? I can't believe this is happening.
showing you, and I'm showing all the viewers. Look, which way is this going now?
We all get the concept.
Going clockwise. So if you're standing up here and you look at the sky,
If you're standing up here and you look at the sky, what's going to happen?
You see it rotating counterclockwise.
Hold on. Stop. Two problems. Number one, that's begging the question straight off the bat.
Yep.
Please. Secondly, it's a reification fallacy. So if you're standing up here on this globe model, what?
Is that a model?
Fallacy.
Yep, you got both.
It's a model. It's physically holding a model. Yeah, I'm going to go with just because it's physically there and I can physically see it. If you want to call it that, is a just debatable point, but it's still a reification, isn't it? He thinks he can stand on top of this.
Yeah, the reification is the model itself. And number two, this isn't a model. You can't have a reification of a reification.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
My mic working? What he successfully has done is he's put Witsit on a globe with him. Well done.
It's just, this is all one big retard disaster. Sponsored by Cream of Wheat and Boy Zero helping him out, because this should have been over 5 minutes ago.
But before you start, again, just a couple of questions. Let's just get that cleared up, because we're right in the thick of it in La La Land. What is positive claim being put forward here, first of all?
Stars spin in opposite directions?
No, that's
How
not
is
the positive claim. Positive claim is that the Earth is rotating.
No, hold on. No, that's what it should be, but it's not. Dave is so retarded. The positive claim is that the stars are rotating in opposite directions.
Oh, it's not. It's please explain the observations in antiquity of the stars rotating in opposite directions.
Don't start playing. Don't start playing.
Okay.
Do you see why I asked? I'm glad that happened. Do you see why I asked? Do we even know what the positive claim is? Because what I was going to suggest at this point is what should happen here is that should be re-asked. What is your claim? What are you claiming here?
You see, that's the thing about it, you see. He's trying to lay a claim at Witsit's door that Witsit's not making. He's looking for Witsit to explain something. Well, Witsit may be claiming stuff about the stars because he's into ether and stuff. That's why maybe he's not doing it. Like, my answer would be straight out. Like, I don't make any claims about the stars. I don't know what they are or how they do what they do. That's it. It's over.
Yeah,
whereas he's
exactly.
trying to. Witsit's not doing that.
Exactly, Brian. Exactly. The stars do what they do, and we all observe them doing the same thing. Yeah? And it doesn't matter where you go in terms of the actual direction. These guys arguing the toss about relative directions. What did you call it? I call it relative. What was the word you used, Huey?
They're subjective, but subjective and relative, same thing.
Exactly, subjective. That's a better word. I'll start using that instead. I think that's better. Subjective directions. So what does this prove? Why are we doing this? Other than him holding up the globe so he can beg the question that we're standing on it, there isn't anything being achieved here, because they're arguing about something that's completely relative.
Yep. That should have been...
Well, I think it's because...
That should have been debunked by the flat earther. Well, we don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, because he's a true alpha. This should have been over 5 minutes ago.
Well, what it is, it's vectors. Yeah, absolutely, because one of them, like when you're talking about north, south, east, and west, is directions. And then when you're talking about rotation, that's vector changes within an orientation already. So it does not, you can't combine them. You got to have the flat plane first. You got to have the north, south, east, and west, and then you can start describing things from that, like a bicycle wheel spin. But that has nothing to do with reality. It's like when you try to marry them together, that there is no reality to be made because you need one first. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Are you saying, do you think that explanation to Dave, if you told him that, would bring any fruit? Just kill him with the directions. Just kill him with second. Just kill him with second grade retard. You don't have to go all in that. Wait for the professor, the actual professor, the astronomy professor, for that response. You have to fix your responses to the idiot that you're discussing it with. Follow?
Any chance we can spin on, is there any chance we can spin on something that's a bit more interesting than this rotation argument?
This is the whole thing, basically.
No, it's not.
Really?
I don't think
Yeah,
it is. Can't be.
I will concede to QE. Yeah, that's way too advanced for him to understand.
Exactly. Man,
Well,
you're just going to get the audience confused. Brian,
someone needs to bring up the definition of the word subjective. That's what needs to happen there, right? Because you know what I mean. Read this, you know.
For what?
Read
To
this.
prove, yeah, okay, but that's fine. And you guys are doing it. That's why I asked the question earlier. For what? So what does he achieve by doing it? Does he refute a claim? We don't even know what's being claimed, as far as I can tell. We're so far in La La Land that even if he does offer the correct, even if he says this is relative, isn't it, Dave? Yeah? Like if you've got a transparent clock and you stand behind it. Well, so what? What does he disprove then? Does he suddenly undo the notion that, as QE suggested, and I'm in agreement with you in terms of what's being claimed here, that the stars do what they do? Did he debunk that when he manages to actually get to that point? This is so frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, down here, see it rotating clockwise. So admit that this phenomenon makes perfect sense on a globe.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense on a globe, you retard. Unbelievable.
And on a flat Earth, it doesn't, which is why you're rambling about perspective and all these other things.
No, there was no rambling. You incessantly interrupted me explaining it because you know you can't actually allow me to say.
Here comes Jabba the Hutt to come in and save the day. What do you got for us?
Change the subject.
Okay, let me ask.
I'm not.
Let me try this. Is this okay?
Let me try this. It's okay. Let you try what?
Can we start with
Brian? What?
Dave just said this makes perfect sense on a globe. Now, not only is that begging the question concerning his paradigm, but it doesn't, because none of this is from a globe.
Yeah.
Even within their paradigm, it's from a flat equatorial plane at their center. So none of this is happening on the globe, from a globe. No, it's not.
Good point. Good point.
None of this
beg
is
the question.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. He's begged the
He's
question.
wrong even in his own paradigm.
His only assertion, as Brian has just pointed out, it's just been made. So while I was asking the question, there wasn't an answer, but it comes right at the end from Dave in conclusion. His conclusion is, I beg the question that this works on as opposed to in a globe. Wrong. Absolutely correct, Brian. I was racking my brains to go, what's going on? Something's just happened. I'm a bit poorly. But yeah, exactly. It's just his opportunity to beg the question and make his claim right at the end in conclusion, when he's got his opponent, in this case Whitsitt, to look a bit silly and argue about silly things that no one's really following along with. And then in conclusion, I beg the question, Earth's a sphere.
This is a non-differential argument. All that's happening here is Dave demonstrating his ignorance of what happens when he turns around. Whether he's on a ball or the flat plane that you're going to reference to build it all up to, got nothing to do with Dave demonstrating that he doesn't understand what happens to his personal directions, his left and right, to something that's travelling east and west when he turns around. It's laughable. This.
Yeah,
argument.
it is. It's laughable. I already explained it right before we started it. I did a 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Have you all forgotten? Are you
Probably, but I was going to maybe suggest one of the points.
No.
It's one of them. All of the stars rise in the east and set in the west, with the exception of Polaris. You turning around means nothing to their direction.
Exactly. Here we go.
Can I just make a point here before you press play? Right? It's okay. We're not holding up anything.
We trained to time, not standard.
What the bowlers do, they don't make claims anymore. They employ stuff, and they try and get flat earthers to agree with stuff, agree with things within scenarios they make up that involve, let's say in this situation, clocks, right? And then they go, see globe proven. This
Yeah.
is what they do.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
what they
all. So there's no. They won't make a positive claim anymore. That's why Nathan is like, "What's going on here?" Because Dave's not making a claim.
No, he is. He's affirming the consequent. I'll just play this out. It is literally the same fallacy, and I don't know if it was you that first pointed it out. They're all affirming the consequent formal logical fallacies, aren't they?
Yes.
If we see star rotation, then the Earth is a sphere. Earth is a sphere because we see star rotation. That's what this argument actually is.
It's actually dumber than that.
Yes, it is. Hold on. It's dumber than that because all they have to do is confuse the issue and they win because the globe or the belief in a globe only exists in the ignorance of the people talking about it.
Yeah, but how can it be
So as long
resolved?
as-
How can it could be resolved? Because he's talking to an alleged flat earther, our flat earth representative, and it should have been resolved 10 minutes ago. That's what we got.
Yeah, just
Let
say
me-
the
Well, yeah.
east was swapped from your right to your left.
No.
That's all you have to say.
That'll just confuse him, Flatsy. I already put it out before this started. I think anyone that could fog a mirror has gotten it.
Because you guys are both
Wait,
super
say
familiar
that.
with this.
We'll say
Brian.
Witzit was asked. Hang on, let's just 1 second. Witzit was asked, "Can you explain this observation on your flat Earth?" Why did Witzit not do what you were expecting him to have done? Because he has an ether belief and he's been making ether claims, and Dave wants him to go there.
You're right, Brian.
Possibly.
I
But
was going to ask, does it have anything to do with ether?
Possibly, but yeah, he still could have debunked this nonsense 5 minutes ago without any ether nonsense. He could have embarrassed them. He would have had no place to go. But this is where we're at. Let's go.
This is okay.
No,
Can we start with?
You're wrong about that,
because
Lou.
you guys are both.
Listen, I'm going to start this video. Okay?
yeah, I know.
Everyone stop talking
You
until we
could-
hear the
you
end of
could have
Quartering's
embarrassed him.
statement. I just want to hear what Quartering interjects with. See if it's of note. Let's just hear the end of Quartering's next statement, guys.
Hold it, Jay. Fivers.
Because you know you can't
No, because
actually
we're
allow me
trying
to
to
say.
change the subject.
Okay, let me. Ask,
I'm not.
let me try this. If this is okay. Can we start with? Because you guys are both super
2 sentence fragments so far.
familiar with this. Let me toss out. So people can dip a toe. One of
So let people can dip a toe. Okay? That's another sentence fragment. 4 of them.
the biggest conversations that goes back and forth. Both of you talked about this in your videos. Is in a flat Earth. Dave's video points out that there are some issues where, for example, the sun is coming around, right? And we know because we live here that one area of the world is in perpetual light, the other's in perpetual dark.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Does he know what perpetual means?
No. Oh,
Nope.
look at the look on his. Who's dumber? him, or him?
All 3 of them.
Are you an imbecile, Quartering? I mean,
Wait, can I just define perpetual? Perpetual means never ending or changing. So Quartering's just asked, we all know, because we're in a flat Earth in Dave's video, we've got never ending darkness and never ending light. That's what he just said.
I know he did. And look at the look on his face. So he just changed the subject totally. He interrupted. He should have interrupted to get control and state the damn claim and who claimed it and the rebuttal. Nope. He comes in 4 sentence fragments and claims a non sequitur from his video.
To be fair,
Go ahead.
it's better than carrying on with this conversation. So I've got to applaud him there.
I've got to agree. That's better than this. I was asking to spin on about 5 minutes ago. So I mean, this is a bit of light relief.
So this is mercy. He's the mercy giver. Here we go.
This would be non-congruent with a flat Earth.
Non-congruent? Incongruent, you imbecile. Like non-coherent clown.
Earth. So, what is the flat Earth position? Am I describing that fairly, Dave?
No. What are you? What the hell are you asking Dave for?
It's a numpty appealing to another numpty.
To answer that question, I'd have had to have given him what I just gave the audience 30 seconds ago, wouldn't I? You know, which is to say, based on a flat Earth and Dave's video inside a flat Earth juxtaposition. I don't know how he's phrased this 5-sentence fragments and a non sequitur, but it essentially was asking about perpetual darkness and perpetual light.
Yeah.
So this garbage has no semblance of any coherence to the discussion that's just taken place whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing from the distinguished Nathan Oakley. He's on injured reserve and was not going to speak during this. He was going to stay here but not speak. But I kind of knew, I had a sneaking suspicion this was going to be incredibly stupid and pull him out of injured reserve status. And it has done that. I'm going to pull a J so we can get this entire Jabba the Hutt imbecile's thought. Here we go.
Non-congruent with a flat Earth. So, what is the flat Earth position? Am I describing that fairly, Dave? I'm oversimplifying.
Sure. The flat Earth cannot explain the region.
The flat Earth cannot explain, so an inanimate object cannot explain. He's still looking for explanations. He's a moron. But you got the explanation guy, the Just So Story guy down here, Boys Zero Sky Grifter. So, yep, he's your boy.
That was my second point, that we cannot explain the regions.
That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is
regions of what?
The regions of illumination, the parts of the Earth that are day or night at any given time.
Yeah, but I know you.
So now both of them pile on him. He's going to have to explain the regions that have day and night. Let's see what happens.
Know the answer. So I've heard the answer given to you. No, but Dave knows the answer. So something called
answer.
Now the moderator, Jabba the Hutt, the imbecile, is going to interrupt the whole thing.
Is that if you're facing the sun, it's day, and if you're not, it's night. That's the answer.
Dude,
that's the answer, huh, Dave? Boy, you're a real rocket surgeon, aren't you?
I'm gonna enlighten you, bro. If you don't allow the other person's point to be made, you didn't win anything. No matter how much coping's going on in the chat.
Yeah, moderator, you need to shut him up, Cream of Wheat, because Whitsett is right. Every time he goes to say something, he interrupts him. So do your job, sir. You are Jabba the Hutt. Pun intended.
You to make a point. Go ahead.
Okay, it's called a coffee cup caustic. It's a literal physical.
We are now into a coffee cup caustic, folks.
What's that?
Well, QE, I would like to speak. Hold on. Before we get into that crap, when you said Whitsett should have embarrassed him minutes ago, he should have, yes. And we all agree to that. But I don't think he can. I don't think he should be a representative of us. I don't think if he could have, he would have. And he didn't.
I don't
this
think
this is an indictment of
Neil,
flat earthers.
the response, Neil, was an embarrassment. 2015 argument based on the presuppositional crap, based on an image in a coffee cup to support the fact why something that's yet to be proven. This is the point of their great experiment. Yeah, he's been led down a straw man and a non. This is obscene. You would put a response
can't do
to that.
You can't do that to me, Adam. I just spit everything all over my keyboard, man. You can't do that. I can't be drinking during this thing.
This is. Please go and get.
Sorry, if I'm in the dark, stop. Everyone, stop. If I'm in the dark and don't know what you're talking about, and there's been a term that I don't know, there's going to be 50% minimum in the audience that do not know what we're talking about. Because Wits has just said something. I said, "What's that?" Think Flatsy said, "What's that?"
And I said, "What's that?"
The coffee cup
You sound like
caustic.
Flatsy.
So Whitsett is now going to explain. Remember the claim that there is perpetual light and darkness on the earth. He hasn't caught on to this. So let's see what he explains. His first answer was the coffee cup caustic. That's where we're at right now. Here we go.
Effect that can be replicated. The light will actually bend around the rim of any.
There you go, Adam. The light's bending out around the rim of a coffee cup.
Yep. Presuppositional explanation.
I don't know how this says.
Neil, but help me. I have still got no idea what's being talked about.
I don't either.
What the hell?
We're talking
the light
about
bending around the rim of a coffee cup.
Yep.
This
Why-
as a sentence makes no sense. As an idea, what you can hear in my voice, I've got no idea what's going on.
Right. So we're trying to address why there might be 24-hour sunlight in the southern regions, right?
No.
Yeah. The description of the answer is to invoke a dome and internal reflection, i.e., what you would see in a coffee cup caustic, where you see the light spread from one section to the other as from internal reflection on the surface. On the boundary of the cup. That's what he's presupposing to a claim that's still not clear yet.
Well, the claim was clear.
A claim that's actually incorrect.
The claim was clear. You are quartering Jabba the Hutt the 24-hour sun. He did not say that. He said perpetual light and perpetual darkness. Now, you know better. You know better. Oh, my God, Adam. You know better, but that's not what he said.
The point I was making.
Okay.
He's still not had a claim.
Stop. Okay, got it. Right. I didn't understand where this had gone, and QE's exasperation is the same reason why, up until Adam explained that, I didn't understand what they were on about. So the perpetual motion, I was like, what the hell does that mean? Because it made no sense. It's actually him referring to, in a very loose way, a 24-hour Antarctic and Arctic sun. Correct?
Why you can have perpetual darkness and lightness. That's what I'm saying. Clarify the claim first. You're already correcting their question, which is incorrect and malformed, by making a claim that flat earthers believe that there's perpetual darkness and lightness somewhere. What?
Yep. He didn't. He's just going to answer his question. So we're on the coffee cup caustic. Here we go.
Any type of containment, it can literally be demonstrated and shown to perfectly replicate the seasons, the perfect light distribution on a plain Earth.
So now he's making a claim that the coffee cup caustic can explain seasons on Earth. He just said that.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What does this? Why? What the? This guy's got flat Earth above the door, right? He's pretending to be the flat Earth teacher, and he's giving answers like this. That what? I mean, I didn't even know what he was talking about. He's what, representative of me?
Yep.
With a coffee cup caustic explanation for seasons? What?
Yep.
You might have to change his name, QE.
I can't keep changing his name. It's Boy Zero Sky Grifter. Let's see if he can dig himself out of this. This is so mind-numbing, moronic.
You're objectively wrong. You've had this presented to you, and now you're back here in front of people pretending you don't know what it is.
Who has presented this to me?
Dave Weiss did. I watched it.
Dave Weiss, the true Urfa, one of his butt buddies. Yep. So I suppose that Dave Weiss has explained the coffee cup caustic in the past to cream of wheat. That's what I'm getting so far.
No, Weiss floundered like a buffoon. That's why you guys all call him controlled opposition now. If you could demonstrate this, you'd all have videos demonstrating
coffee.
This.
There are literally hundreds of them.
No. I'm not talking about, shine it and, it kind of does a thing, sort of. I'm talking about...
This is terrible.
But why did Cream of Wheat know that we were all going to call Dave Weiss controlled opposition, which is what we've done in the past week, but this is a couple of weeks old? Why is he referring to Dave as... Is it just a straight ad hom?
Yeah.
Dave Weiss is an embarrassment. That's even apparent to the ballers.
Yeah, I suppose. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, he just said that it's because of his debate with David Weiss that we all supposedly call David Weiss Ash, whatever we call him.
Controlled opposition.
But is he lying?
Who knows?
He's telling the truth, Dave Farina, because they were floundering like a fish. And so was Whitson. I'm sorry. This is horrible.
Yeah, let's get past this date. We already dealt with David Weiss. Let's continue.
Show the precise regions of day and night over several month period, right? Have it exactly precisely align with where
It's literally been done multiple times,
Okay.
Dave.
So sounds like an empty claim to me because I've never seen it.
Yeah. Okay.
you have.
So okay, hold on. So Austin, give him a second to explain his side. So you're saying,
Austin, give him a second to explain his side. It was Austin trying to speak. Oh my God, Jabba.
So what most people people see is that, you know, the daylight is predictable.
Daylight is predictable by Jabba the Hutt moderator.
What a revelation.
I know that's only most people. Who are the other people that where daylight's not predictable?
I think it's going to be a bit much if we keep responding to the quartering. Can we just accept from this? This is the first time I've really heard him speak in this arena. He basically has absolutely nothing to offer. So let's just not critique what he has to say and just roll our eyes each time he has something to say.
I'm sorry, he's jettisoned himself inside this conversation. I cannot.
Fair enough.
Just ignore
Fair
him.
enough.
Hopefully he'll shut up.
Daylight night light is predictable based on what is believed that the orbit, the current belief about the Earth's orbit.
There's another 2 sentence fragments.
I think this man's adding great clarity to the debate because these two numpties couldn't hold a conversation. But I mean, look how he's just brought it all together, so we all know what page we're on now.
I know, but he has given me something. If I was in Whitset's shoes and he's just put Whitset in the driving seat, he's actually given him something to sink his teeth into there, as far as I was concerned.
Okay.
So he's asked him about orbits. He could easily show where orbits originate in terms of the measurements to get a flat plane argument going with that question, couldn't he?
Yes. Let's let him go.
Yeah, but
Let's
why
see what
would
he
he
does.
do that?
If he did, and Whitset would start, David interrupt, and then the quarter would come back in and change the topic again. Seems to be the theme.
Let's see what happens.
In a flat
Rotation.
Earth, yeah, the rotation, yeah. In the flat Earth, just let him finish. Dave,
It's about time. Okay, that's good. That you get +1. Let him finish, Dave. So get with the question.
you get 2 minutes. Can you describe?
Oh, me? What?
Oh, God.
No, sorry. I'm going to shoot it back to you for 2 minutes, but give Austin 2 minutes to describe what he's talking, because
what he's talking. Another sentence fragment. I don't even know what they're talking about.
I just want you guys to remember, like, the audience doesn't know what coffee cup, whatever it is, right? So
Whatever is. Thanks for
remember. Okay, but remember, you're talking to like normies.
Sure. Okay, so
that's what I meant.
It's Austin. Dave, are you retarded? You got to be a retard. He just said, shut up and let Austin describe this. But you can't shut up.
Like I can't now as I interrupt you. So Dave is doing the standard baller tactics, which is to say, if he's in control of what's being said in response to everything, and there's a good chance that he's going to be the one dictating where the conversation goes. Now, when it gets handed over to his opponent, he can't cope because he detects there could be something bad coming up here. And if I'm talking incessantly, that might prevent that from happening. So even when the host says, shut up, I watched his facial expression, Dave's, that is. He raised an eyebrow as if to say, oh, yeah. And then now he's carrying on. In other words, he's got no respect for the quartering. He's got an agenda. He's going to be rumpusing. That's what his MO is. We all know what Dave does. That's how he attempts to win debates. That's why he turned me down when I asked him for a debate. He knows he wouldn't be in a position to do that. So therefore, he doesn't want to be debating somebody that won't allow him to stop doing what he's doing to win, which is non-stop, incessant talking.
It's not winning. It's being imbecile. And anyone that could Vladimir knows what's happening here.
I'm asking. So, Austin, you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Now, because of all this interrupting, there's a perception to the audience that the coffee cup caustic is somehow intellectual and highbrow.
Yep. We're going to see.
Describe. We talked about how the sunlight stuff goes on. So 2 minutes, and then Dave, you get 2 minutes.
We talked about how this light stuff is going on. My word.
Minutes.
Okay. So if you type in coffee cup caustic, which I will literally look, I'll share the screen. And Dave has been shown this in
Stay on
his
top.
debate.
Stay on point, though. Stay on point.
Oh, okay. I am.
Stay on point. He is on point. You asked about the coffee cup caustic. We're going with the coffee cup caustic. Jabba, you imbecile.
Yeah.
I am.
Answer my question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just Google coffee cup caustic. If I have a coffee cup, if I took the lid off of my coffee cup and then light was shining in from the window, what will happen because of the rim is the light will hit inside the coffee cup and wrap around the entire rim. I can take this little flat earth model right here and
You got a little flat earth model. So we got a flat earth model now, folks. Shocking.
Wait, just
Do
to,
it
just to add, Quartering was saying, can you answer my question? Because originally his 4-sentence fragments and a non sequitur did end up with an actual question that suggested orbits. And I said, oh, great, he's got something to get his teeth into.
Yep.
That was the actual question that was raised. But he also pointed out when he stopped to get that question answered that there's a topic that's non sequitur on the table currently that people don't know what is being talked about. So now it seems like the coffee cup caustic is the question, but it actually wasn't. That's why I interjected at that point.
I got you. Good catch.
But hello.
Yeah.
Flat earthers. You know what's being presented right now on your behalf? Internal reflection of a coffee cup is our explanation as to why there is prolonged daylight in the south, be that 24 hours or yet, because the claim's not quite been made yet. Yeah, but we are now being represented by somebody that's saying, you know how I know it's flat? Because if you look at the way light reflects from daylight from the window on your coffee cup, you know it's flat. And there's the proof, guys. Because look at the pattern it makes.
Just to contrast that, so when I said there was something to get his teeth into with orbital motion, at the moment we're obviously on the front foot forward talking about how Earth is measured flat as a positive claim, but backing that up after I state that, I say, well, there's obviously going to be times when you're in debate where you're on the back foot. You're having to be responsive to the, in this case, host's question about orbits. So you've got to have a good understanding of where orbits have been derived and start taking the host with your 2 minutes through that process. The opener, when as soon as you've got the mic and there's clear air, orbits are derived from a flat plane. Then go into explaining where orbits are derived from with use of elevation angle measurements, the ephemeris, the celestial sphere, the conversion to antipodal planes. All of those things can be described to give you the orbital motion that Kepler then gave us, and then Huygens then scaled. That took me 25 seconds, 2 minutes. He could have proved Earth was flat with the word orbit. Now, he's gone to coffee cup caustic because these two numpties have decided that this, from Dave's perspective, is garbage. And he's right. He's like, oh, this will be brilliant. Let's get Whitsit talking about this.
Yep.
You know, and I don't blame him.
Here we go.
live. I'd have to cut all the lights off, and since the windows are open, I can't. So it's very simple to explain it. There you go. It wraps around. Now, if you apply this,
that explains everything. There's your explanation for seasons, folks. Explains everything right there. Jesus.
Sickening.
I'll let him go.
To a flat Earth, you will be able to perfectly replicate the distribution of light that gives us day and night, depending on the proximity of the source of light. It's easily done. Everyone knows that, and you can look it up. If you're
Does everyone actually know this?
Hell, I don't watch this. Am I in some crazy parallel universe?
Yes.
I'm just going to have a little rant, right? On our side of flat Earth, we point out that Earth is measured flat with an angle. It is so basic. It is so simple. Visually, you can represent it with 2 lines. I'm not even joking. It is about as simplistic as you could possibly get. And we get people going, that's not a flat Earth measurement. That's not even a measurement. That's what we get, right? That's on our side of the fence. On the other side of the flat Earth fence, we've got a guy who has just attempted to prove flat Earth with this. Now, is anybody saying that's not a flat Earth measurement? It's like, people, they are, I know they are, he's got more subs, nodding along to this and going, yes, this is something I can definitely talk to my mates out down the pub and explain how Earth is flat with it. Brilliant, brilliant. Yes, Whitsit, my guru. Look at this wonderful. What is this? Why am I having to deal with people tell me that a straight line isn't a measurement when it's measured? And Whitsit gets away with gathering up subscribers with this shit. What world am I living in? What's going on?
You are
that's fine, but
that was a rhetorical question, Adam. Adam, that was a rhetorical question.
This is important. This is right. What do we preach? What would Nathan preach? Why is he so exasperated? Because he's a flat earther. Why is Whitsit bringing this up? Because he's not a flat earther, is he?
Don't know.
He's a true earther. This has got nothing to do with flat earth. This has got to do with some paradigm he believes in, and he's giving a BALLBUSTERS 2015 episode, yeah, as evidence of his true earth.
Adam,
this is the difference between the two groups right now.
Adam, for God's sake, man, this explains seasons.
Easily done. Everyone knows that, and you can look it up.
My bad.
If you're new to that, that's fine, but just look it up, right? And the way that we determine sunset time is with the equation.
Sunset. The sun doesn't set on a globetard or a flat plane. It's rhetorical language. Now, how are we going to figure it out?
Of time, which uses the.
We got the equation of time now. Really? Good. Post the equation. Let's see it. My God.
The apparent sun. It uses the mean of the apparent.
What is... I know I'm stopping too much, but I can't let this go. What apparent sun? What is that? That's rhetorical, by the way. Don't be starting to answer it in there. What does the apparent sun have to do with this? And what is an apparent sun? Where'd you get the apparent sun from? Dave, Cream of Wheat, and the boys and his boys. That's where you got that from. My God, sir.
Apparent sun. So we don't even use the globe model in a physical location.
Oh, God.
Well, I hadn't said that for a while, so I'm going to say something.
Brian, you're the host. Don't let him bully you.
I'm the co-host here. Yeah, what's going on here is very simple, right? Whitsit is trying to explain something. He has to make claims. Well, maybe he has made claims about it, but he shouldn't have made claims about it, right? As soon as Dave wants to bring up, or anyone wants to bring up the celestials, how does this happen and that happen? Just, I don't know. I don't know what they are or how they do what they do. And when he starts telling you about what they do and how he knows, you can then just pull that apart with ease. Why do you need to go into that? You don't know. That's the honest truth. I don't know how they do what they do or what they are. Right? So how am I supposed to? What am I supposed to give you on that question? But if you want to claim that you do know, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Furthermore, then you take them to what we do know about them, and we know where they're above at a particular time on a flat plane. That's what we do know.
Of the sun to determine sunset time or day and night distribution. In the real world, we use the equation of time. So you can replicate this on a flat Earth.
Is the equation of time here in the coffee cup caustic? You can replicate. What are you replicating? Sunrise and sunset. Oh my God.
Goes in the globe Earth and flat Earth basket. It isn't exclusive to either one.
Oh, we got the basket. We got the globe Earth. We got the globe Earth basket. We got the flat Earth basket. What's the other basket? We had these baskets before, remember? With the two offers, Dave, remember he gave us 3 different baskets?
It may be a bigger globe.
Sorry to interrupt again. In terms of how time is actually derived in the first instance, we're using flat Earth measurements to get this idea, rather than utilizing the base measurements to get our concept of time. He's invented flat Earth model with a coffee cup caustic and a time equation. I mean, we're surrounded by bullshitters.
Yep.
Now, how does this? And I'm gonna kick it over to Dave after this question. But I watched his debunk video, which is a little bit older, but has a zillion views. So congrats on that.
What the hell does that have anything to do with anything? Zillion views. Congratulations. What did he do for it? It just so what does that even mean? Jabba. He's buttoning again with incoherent nonsense. My God, sir.
But there's like, let's say you have this coffee cup caustic, right? And his claim is that there's like perpetual night, daylight in this spot and perpetual night in this spot.
There, he said it again. But now you're going to give him the midnight sun? He very clearly said it.
Right? Am I representing that accurately?
Yes.
Yes. So, Dave, do we have perpetual sunlight and darkness on the earth? Yes, you said yes. You're a retard.
Near the solstices, there are places with.
Near the solstices, where's that near? Is that a time or a place near it? Clown.
24-hour night and 24-hour day.
Now, 24 hours, that's not perpetual. You need to find
it's
out.
24 hours.
Yeah, this is are they on lewds? All of them? It's directionless.
Let's just boil this down because there's a good chance there is actually people in the audience that don't know this because BALLBUSTERS has a bit more broad reach for some reason than Flat Earth Debate. So there might be people in the audience that are going, yeah, because these flat earthers are all scared of the perpetual sun in Antarctica. No, I'll just change my phraseology. Right, so the idea that there's going to be, that's potentially going to be, a 24-hour above the horizon sun in Antarctica. It's something that a priest or whatever he is, pastor, I don't know, some guy has decided he's going to investigate. Now, whether or not there is, will just take as read for the sake of this affirming the consequent explanation, which is to say we will assume that there is, even though it seems unlikely and there's a lot of scammery around it. It's irrelevant because in order to utilise this claim to be 24-hour sun above the horizon in Antarctica in our winter, that is to say their summer, in the southern quote-unquote hemisphere, that would require the person making the claim in exactly the same way as Netflix did to affirm the consequent. That is to say, if Earth is a sphere and we travel antipodal to the south, by assumption, then we will observe a 24-hour sun above the horizon. Now they're suggesting that when they go to affirm the consequent, they'll suggest that we do see a 24-hour sun above the horizon in Antarctica when antipodal on a sphere, therefore Earth's a sphere. It's if P, 24-hour sun, and Q, I travel antipodal on a sphere, I do travel antipodal on a sphere, Q, and observe the 24-hour sun. I got that slightly the wrong order, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, the point being that they're just affirming the consequent, suggesting that if they see sun above the horizon, it proves a ball. No. If that was the case, if it was the case that simply observing 24 hours of sunlight above the horizon proved a ball, well, we definitely do observe that in the north. I've seen it. I've had it documented on my own channel when I've had people broadcasting to a 24-hour hangout showing it. So it's not like it's contentious in the north. So if it is a proof that Earth is a ball, then use the 24-hour sun in the north. Well, why haven't they? Well, because they need an extra part to the affirming the consequent fallacy. They need to assume antipodal positioning. So part of the fallacy is to say, if I travel out towards the horizon on a flat plane in a southern direction towards Antarctica and arrive, and when I arrive, I say my journey out towards the horizon with the sky above and the ground below the entire journey, travelling in a direction that is described with respect to a flat plane, using the stars to navigate on a flat plane with flat maps, I assume that when I arrive, I'm on the bottom of a ball, then seeing the 24-hour sun, or not, as the case may or may not be, will prove that I'm on the bottom of a ball I just assumed. No, it won't. Now, the minute people start to actually understand the affirming the consequent fallacy that's being employed, like was employed when Netflix got these exact same people over a barrel with the exact same fallacy, they might start realising that it doesn't prove we're on a ball, it assumes antipodal positioning to affirm the consequent. just like on Netflix. If Earth has a deviation in a gyroscope, then Earth is a ball in a rotating motion. Oh, look, we don't see the deviation. Oh, but we did! So we actually inadvertently affirm the consequent for our opponent. Oh, no, it was ether. Actually is the affirming the consequent. We need a different insertion for the fallacy, is what Globebusters actually did. We'll just reinsert a new cause in the affirming the consequent. Not Earth rotation, but ether. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. It's like, no, that's the same fallacy. Never proved anything. If you'd have understood that, you wouldn't have been doing it. You wouldn't have been making the claim or suggesting that the antithesis of the affirming the consequent debunked the claim. It doesn't. It's always going to be a fallacy. But these two numpties know it's on the table currently because some rich guy has gone out and gathered up a few flatties and globies and said, come and affirm the consequent and suggest that we're antipodal when we go south. I'm done.
That was brilliant. You explained it. There you go, folks. That's what you got.
Just one point.
So how does...
Oh, my God.
In all of that explanation, one thing's dawned upon me. If this is what we're dealing with, then the coffee cup caustic is a non sequitur response. The coffee cup caustic is a response to what's being observed, which is prolonged hours of daylight, not sun observation. So it does not explain anything if they went on this great final experiment that they're off to. So yeah, it wouldn't explain that. This is a response to what we do witness, which, like I say, is extended daylight.
It allows a false dichotomy to be on the table. If the Earth is a ball, then we will observe 24 hours of daylight in the Antarctic. We do observe 24 hours in the Antarctic, therefore Earth's a ball. If that fails or wins, we'll have the counterpart of the false dichotomy put by the flat earther. No. If Earth is flat, then we have caustic motion producing the appearance of sunlight in the south. We do have caustic motion producing the effect of sunlight in the south, therefore Earth's a flat plane. So we both have the same affirming the consequent, non sequitur, to make the claim, and we have it set up in a false dichotomy, like every single feast of nonsense argument for the last 10 years that we're bracing against currently. So this seems like it's a fix, it's staged. It's like, okay, so it's the same exact position that would be favourable for any publicity for this subject matter, which is to leave both opponents on either side of a false dichotomy, both using flat plane descriptions, one suggesting that one proves a ball with affirming the consequent, the other suggesting that perhaps caustic motion proves a flat earth with an affirming the consequent. It's Netflix part 2.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
You got it. Yes, sir.
It's really old school. There was, Ryan, I don't know if you've seen this. You were the star of it. There's a YouTube channel, Flat Earth Tests, and it's replaying a moment on one of Ranty's
over there
channels, with Brenda coming in arguing the 24-hour sun with the old dodgy footage, the edited footage. And he's literally 5 minutes of you laughing your head off. Yeah, it's been republished this week by someone.
Yeah. Brenda, Ranty literally. Well, I was there now. I was laughing on, but Ranty literally showed her that the videos that she was presenting were frauds, and she didn't want to accept it. She started calling Ranty a fraud when Ranty was actually just presenting the fraud to her. So that was pretty funny.
All right, we ready to move on? Here we go.
How does that figure into this?
Yeah. Look, okay, I'll share the screen so everyone can see it.
Okay.
Does that work? We'll just do that. So I gotta find which one it is. Here we go. Okay.
I got you.
Okay. If you see here, this is a demonstration of the coffee cup caustic. Okay. That's what this is. So if you look, you put a dome over at the top of the flat earth, you're going to take a light source. It's going to give you see the distribution of the equinoxes and the solstice right there below it. Now watch what.
What? Where's the coffee? Where's the cup? What is the solstice? What?
Get the coffee, forget the cup, because what's being presented to you from a flat earther, the viewer right now, is a worldview. And he's demonstrating how his worldview works right now.
It's nonsense.
Embarrassing, what's it?
Embarrassing. This is what we had. Do you remember Joshua 10 years ago? He still comments 10 years on my second channel. So when I first started up, right, do you remember Joshua, Adam? With his little model showing how the stars could be rotating in the south?
Yeah,
That's 10 years ago. Still doing it. I can't believe we're still doing this. I just despair.
Sorry, but if I was Dave, I'd say, show me your dome. What's it?
Yeah. Prove it. Okay. Prove it.
Yep.
Okay. Nice that you can make this as a, what's the word? False correlation. Or maybe it's a positive correlation. Who cares either way? Okay. Prove it. Now start backing this up as the full physicality of our world, like it's some paperweight. Show us how that's the case.
Is that the model of the flat Earth too? Did he put that?
Apparently.
It's like a.
But that's
not mine.
That point of sarcasm you ended with there is exactly what's being demonstrated. That's exactly what he's doing. This is how your world works with a paperweight and a flashlight. Look, guys. Oh, see? There. That's being put to you as an explanation for somebody who purports to be a flat earther.
Okay, so put this next to the debate I had yesterday. And a guy comes into me and starts talking about the sun being a lamp. And I say to him, lamp? What the bloody hell are you barking about? Now, this guy, actually, and I knew it full well, wants to represent my argument as the sun having a lamp-like property that he can just rip to shreds as a straw man because I haven't actually claimed this. But why is he embarrassing himself in front of me when I say this becomes your claim? Nobody here's calling the sun a lamp. You are. No. I've heard it from loads of people. He says I couldn't give a toss, stereotyping fallacy. The sun's not a lamp. You're the only one claiming it. It's stupid. Now, when a glober is telling me about the sun being a lamp, admittedly, so he can strawman with me with it, it's embarrassing. And I start saying, well, that's stupid. Why would you think that? Whatever gave you that idea? That's you've got zero place to go. You can't back it. And if you put this in front of me, you get the reaction that the panel's giving it now. What? Yeah? But this is why we're dealing with it. Because this is what represents us, does it? It's a freaking outrage.
I was going to tell you yesterday, you could thank Dave Weiss for the guy with the lamp, because that's a Dave Weiss move. And so is this. So now we know who the guru is.
Oh, here we go. So notice the model. I guess that was his model he was talking about, flat Earth. Then he put a glass over it, and notice that the light is outside the container. So I guess that's where we live. Thanks, Boy Zero. Appreciate that.
What the light does. Now look at it wrap all the way around the outside. Okay, this is called coffee cup caustic, meaning if there was a container on the Earth, it would literally have to do.
Where's
round
it
the outside? Round the outside.
Really? Even in his example.
If there was a container?
Even in his example, where's the light on the outside? Is it right around this outside? I can't even believe I'm even saying this. Let me continue.
No, don't. Let
Neil
continue his thought.
Good.
What I said, I totally forgot what I said.
He said if there's a container, because that was the same thing that.
Oh yeah. He said if there's a container. Yeah, that's how he started.
There's a fund that's we've teased you, Neil, when we've said I'm not going to say dome, okay, and there's a reason. Is I will say containment because it's a necessary antecedent for gas pressure. What I won't then go and do is use that knowledge that there has to be containment and presuppose that, form the container and use it as an explanation for something I've got no clue about. That's what's happening here.
Yep.
You
do this.
will.
And yes,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say you and Nathan will, though, fake injuries on being a panel member.
I'm back in the game. You know when you get past that point of tired.
Yes. Yes,
The wine's helping.
There comes a point where you get past tired. Yes, but then you enter after that into hallucinations.
Crazy world.
No, hallucinations follow that, but you're talking about 48 to 36 hours. So get ready.
I'm in my ultra sharp mode right now.
All right.
So watch out, Wits it.
All right, here we go, because you're going to have to be sharp coming up here probably.
all the mathematics has been shown, and
all the mathematics have been shown. Let's see them.
I could pull that up if I need to.
Go ahead.
Yes, please do, and then show me what mathematics. The phrase earlier, equation of time, was used, yeah, as if it had some intellectual significance, as if the equation of time. It just means position of the sun. This is what pisses me. You're doing exactly what pisses me off about ballers, yeah? Intellectual posturing of bullshittery to make yourself look more intelligent. Yeah, that's all that is. Yep. Equation of time. Not Doctor Who, mate.
It just, again, I want to juxtapose this with what we do, because when you're talking about the equation of time, okay, well, it's not quite so posh or sound so wanky when we talk about buying a good watch, you know, going out and buying yourself a copy of the almanac and then measuring angles off a flat earth. Now, in terms of difference, when this bullshittery is postulated by Witsit without any justification, it's just his ad hoc explanation that he's hopping on the table and saying it's representative of all flat earthers, which is what I found outrageous. When we're talking about celestial navigation and the measurements of Earth, number one, that's a lot more substantive in terms of what's actually being done to reference Earth. And number two, it has a practical application. It's to say it's been used to not only develop the world in terms of how it's been plotted out, mapped and navigated, subsequently to it being plotted out with the stars on a flat plane. These things are still used to this day for our navigation systems. So it's so widely reaching and expansive and easy to understand when you describe angle measurements off the flat plane. It contrasts this so starkly when it's so brazen in its bullshittery, so speculative in its claim, and so useless in its lack of practical application. If I was to turn around to Witsit in this moment and say, how is this used? There isn't one. There's no use for it. But by contrast, when we're talking about time, yes, that's used when we navigate. And the system itself has been derived from a flat plane. The maps themselves are flat. The way we measure the stars, the way we navigate and use current systems called GPS are all derived and utilizing flat plane measurements. But that's much more substantive. It's easy to understand at a base level with the angle measurement. And it contrasts this nicely because it shows how you can argue with somebody where there is no retort, there's no rebuttal. You're not even arguing. You're offering them statements of fact in terms of how the world is actually functionally used with mapping and angle measurement. This is not that. It's just a shame that we aren't the ones representative of the masses of flat earthers, and this garbage is. It's just such a shame.
Let me just expand. I want Brian to comment on this. The equation of time, and this is where we should be doing exactly what you've just said, Nathan, expounding flat Earth elevation angles. Equation of time is the position of the sun. Now it's represented graphically, yeah, in terms of its lag and its forward precession throughout the year. The equation of time represents that graph, but the way that's been described historically is Kepler's analemma. How do you get to Kepler's analemma, Brian? You need Earth elevation angles to plot it in the first place. This is the point. He's come 3 steps and cited something that is a flat Earth proof in of itself. There's nothing wrong with using the equation of time. What does that actually mean other than it sounding pseudo-intellectual? Actually, underneath that is actually a real flat Earth proof. It's the analemma.
Yeah.
Q Brian.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Adam. It's the sun cycle that was hijacked by Kepler to back engineer into the Copernican let's call it. I don't know what to call it. The paradigm created by Copernicus.
Nice move.
Yeah. Well, it's that exact sun cycle that we all observe yearly. It's that exact thing that was hijacked, and that is how do we detail that? Flat Earth elevation angles. That's how we detail that sun cycle, and it changes for each person. What I mean is that from my location and from QE's location throughout the year, even though it's the same cycle, the angles are going to be slightly different at different times of the year because we're in two different parts of the world. So today, the angle to the sun for me is not going to be the same as it is for QE, because he's in a different place. So
we have just worked another flat Earth proof there, guys. Equation of time. Anybody says it's flat Earth proof.
Yep.
Based on flat Earth elevation angles, the passage of the sun throughout the year, and the positional change of it based on flat Earth elevation angles of it. Yeah?
Yep. Guess who's loving this, by the way?
Sorry, say again, QE, before I go.
Guess who's loving this, by the way? Can you look on screen, please? I'm going to point you to who's loving this.
Dave will be loving this. This nonsense waffle from a flat earther is just what Dave needs. He was hoping it'd be ether. This is just as good. Caustic, whatever, coffee is just as wonderful.
Yep.
Shout out to One Deck. So One Deck came on the show while we were talking about every time a glober comes in and talks about up or down, it's with respect to a flat plane. It's perpendicular to it. They're going to need a flat Earth for that. And he started talking about time and pointing out that he was in debates with people, and as soon as they referenced time in any way, shape or form, he was using that to prove a flat Earth in the way that we've just discussed. I was like, oh yeah, that's really good, isn't it? It's part of the navigation system. It's I don't know why, but why watches were originally called chronometers. I must look into that. But, you've got your chronometer out at sea, so that you've got a good reference to the ball that's dropped at Greenwich, so you can make sure you got the right time. But it's all flat plane in terms of the original reference. And like I say, One Deck was using that, and I thought that's really good. Because how often does time come up? Frequently is the answer. And the moment you get there, you can start proving a flat Earth with it. It's mad, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but Nathan, that's what the presentations I was doing with Adam was about. Me and Adam, it was about UTC time. If you look at my UTC time map I have on my channel, on the community post, that's what it is. It's that UTC time fits a flat plane because the longitude lines diverge from a north-central point.
Absolutely.
That's why
you guys were the ones who educated this about this. When I ascribe the credit to One Deck, you're missing why I'm doing it. I'll just reiterate that. Right, we've all learned this a long time ago. It's the connecting in debate, like directly, immediately on the front foot, is what I'm ascribing the credit to One Deck for. Like as soon as he hears time, he goes, I can prove a flat Earth with that. Now how he does it is he knows because you've educated him probably. I'm not necessarily saying that's true. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But there's a good chance it's because of what you and Adam went through. We all know this. I'm not taking that away from you in any way. I'm just saying that it's like saying, well, I've always described perpendicular to the plane of reference. I was doing that 2 weeks ago, and you'd be like, yeah, you were. We talk about this stuff. It's the realizing there's a not just a shorter route. There's an immediate stop to the discussion, and there's so many of them, up and down, time. The list will get bigger and bigger and bigger. It just takes one person to go, oh, I can use that to get immediately to a flat Earth. Now, how you do it is testament to you guys, and I'm not going to take any credit for that. Learning how and why and the wherefores is why he can do that to get this credit I'm giving him now. It's not to say that he's the one who's introduced that argument. That's not what I'm suggesting, Brian.
Can I get back to the video at some point, fellas?
But we're having fun and we're scratching each other's back, and it's hurting my mouth while I do so, but it's worth it.
And we mentioned Time Bandits without me getting jibbed for it. So
I immediately thought of that. I was going to say something, but since you're injured, I thought I'd give you a little bit of mercy.
Man down.
what happened was Nathan tried to not give credit where credit was due. I pulled him on it, and then he tried to make it out as if I was attacking one deck.
Yeah, I thought it did brilliantly. Spin doctoring is fantastic.
Boy.
Well,
So
what
the
I
math
want
has been shown.
I want to give while you pull that up, I'm going to give Dave 3 minutes to respond because we went over. So I want to give Dave. I'm like, I'm kind of keeping it rough, but just try to keep some semblance. So I want to let Dave respond to
Yeah,
this.
I don't need 3 minutes. It doesn't perfectly match. It's just a very hackneyed demonstration that kind of sort of makes a shape. They're not showing any kind of actual model that directly correlates with all the positions.
Or models that correlate. Well, Whitsett did say he had a model, so you're gonna have to live with that one.
Cream of wheat spot on there.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct appraisal of what's been presented, and the evidence that if any flat earth decided that the reason you've got extended daylight hours in the southern area outside of the assumed path, you feel you need to have to explain that this doesn't actually match up, because obviously at some point that to match up, what have you got to do? You've got to stick a map underneath it. Has anyone here got a map that they can stick underneath it that they can stand by?
No.
Yep. So he's right on point. You caused this, boy zero. Let's see what else.
So number one, it absolutely does not correlate with the times of day and night. Doesn't do it. But
so and you're talking about correlation. Okay.
Second of all, it also creates gigantic problems because in order to get this, you're pretending that there's this dome.
That is a destroying rebuttal to anybody's listening. Yeah, he's destroyed Whitsett there. What can Whitsett say?
Hey, Neil. I'll mute him. Go ahead, Adam.
What can Whitsett say? If from a position of honesty and integrity, you're correct, Dave. Yeah.
Yep.
For one reason I've outlined, and B, that nobody's bothered to do that even with a presupposed map. And even if they did, Dave would probably be right. It wouldn't fit the pattern generated by a coffee cup caustic.
Other than him saying he needs a correlation need to be satisfied, that's just garbage.
Yep.
Magical dome or whatever the hell you're talking about that's giving this effect, which number one isn't there, right?
So it isn't there, the magical dome.
Cannot demonstrate that this dome is there, but
yes we can, and it's not a dome, it's a container. It's easily demonstrated. You don't know what gas pressure is, Dave. For your dumb ass to breathe, there better be a container there.
Number two, it creates other problems because if you're saying that the sun is outside of this dome, then
he caught that. I'm shocked that he caught that. Yep. Let's see.
Is he going to call him anti-biblical on that point?
I don't know, but I'm shocked
There
that
he
he
goes.
caught it.
Let's just see where he goes.
You don't get to have the sun inside the dome for the magical explanation for tides and all these other things.
What? So there is explanation for tides with the sun being inside the dome. Really?
Apparently.
What crackhead true earther has propositioned that?
We don't know that. Hold
on.
on. It could be a straw man Dave's laying down. We don't know that. Let's just move on.
Yeah, he could have just made that shit up. It's
What,
really
like,
stupid.
the reason there's 24 hours sun in the south is because of coffee cup caustics.
Yeah, but we have had from Whitsett's own mouth, so I'm happy with that. Let's carry on.
Yep.
That don't make sense on a flat earth that you're pretending that the sun and the moon do, right?
Yeah. Now, when Dave mentions this is another point of contention.
Another sentence fragment.
You guys are going at it, but I just want to keep everyone else in the loop.
Say again.
Whitsett agreed. Yeah, I heard him say yes.
Yep.
There is one of the points of contention is whether or not in the flat Earth model, and you guys.
There is no flat Earth model. However, he did state, so I guess he's authorized to challenge him, to challenge Boy Zero now, because he did admit there was a flat Earth model. So you're fair game now.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Is whether or not the sun is inside or outside of this hypothetical dome. Because in one case, it's responsible for the tides.
Why? Because Dave said so.
Yep.
and this, that, and the other. And then the other case,
and this, that, and the other. Jabba.
It's responsible. What is it? Tides and what did you?
Storms, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave's saying that the sun inside the container or dome is responsible for tides and storms. That's what he's saying flat earthers' position is.
Right. Coriolis.
So what is the
Coriolis? You wouldn't know what the Coriolis was if it camped out up your arse. And friggin' was tied with friggin' absolute, started kicking footballs wrapped in Carolina Reaper lace concertina wire, Dave. Clown.
Storms rotate in opposite directions depending on the hemisphere. Everything.
Oh my gosh.
Depending on the hemisphere, he's back to that one. He just added that on top.
So okay, all right. So Austin, I'll give you
another sentence fragment.
Go ahead and respond.
I want to add something.
Okay.
Sorry, you brushed past it too quickly.
Go ahead.
So in my little rant earlier, I was like, part of the affirming the consequent is to assume antipodal positioning. And when he just said, depending on the hemisphere, one sentence is what sets up this whole false dichotomy. So with only a few words, the quartering, who's clearly massively biased, has basically filled in the blanks for the false dichotomy that has been laid down by what is potentially a straw man, but could also be some rhetorical device that the true earthers use. I don't know, but there's now had a convoluted, admittedly, but even like their connected brains have managed to turn this nonsense into the false dichotomy that needs to be laid down. But within that false dichotomy, this is the point, I should try and stay on focus. You need the antipodal positioning assumption, and there it is. It was just inserted by the quartering. I just wanted to make that clear. That's what's needed, to assume that when you travel south, you are antipodal, that is upside down, if you will, from where you began. So long as that is assumed in all of the discussions, false dichotomies or otherwise, then the Glober can potentially either get a neutral outcome or convince the audience that that is being proven by whatever bullshit is suggested alongside it. Just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah. So we don't know what's above us because you can't freely just shoot.
We don't know what's above us. Why'd you put that light above us then? With your coffee cup caustics example. Do you know where you're at? He just contradicted himself.
Yeah, this frustrates me. Yeah, so it seems that while we are held to the highest level of scrutiny on flat Earth debate, with the most obvious and simplistic stuff that cannot be violated in geometric terms being challenged, Witzig gets away with putting something that is physically solid, that's a paperweight, to suggest that we're inside a solid glass paperweight, to explain how the sun works. And the moment it comes to any challenge, we don't know. It isn't what I've just laid down as my model. So it's a total detachment from the bullshittery he laid down ad hoc the moment it's challenged.
Just a few seconds ago. You're double speaking. Lion Surat. You're exposed again. This is a train wreck on your part. We're supposed to be tearing Dave up. I mean, we already did that. We'll continue to do that. You ain't helping matters, I'll tell you that. It's shocking to me. Are you stupid? Do you think you're getting away with this? I bet he does, because all of his subscribers are globe dumpsters, right? They're dumber than he is. My word, son.
Stuff up as high as you want to, okay? And GPS.
It's not as obvious.
Speak up.
I don't want to keep. Sorry, I'll push my mic back. I don't want to rip into Witzig, but I need to say it's not as obvious as previous times where you can see that there's an alternative message here, because it's the introduction of ether isn't as easily done. But you can see that there is an alternative rhetoric here, and that is a true Earth rhetoric. Otherwise, why are you invoking this stuff? Why are you placing luminaries in certain positions, a boundary in a certain position to cause an effect, a map underneath? Who are you? Why are you invoking this as some form of pseudo knowledge to people? Yeah, the only reason isn't a flat Earth reason, because that's not what we do. It's a true Earth reason. I say it may not be as an obvious a misplacement, but this is as bad as you eat.
No, you're missing it. He just contradicted himself.
Why? Why is he
Because
doing
he's a
that?
moron.
Why is that happening? No, I know that. Look, that's easy, right? No, because there's an alternative agenda. He's not representing flat Earth. The contradictions aren't with flat Earth here. What he's presenting has got nothing to do with what flat Earthers profess, right?
Yeah.
But he has got a fair bit to do with what true Earthers.
Okay. So that justifies, because he's a true earther, he can contradict himself?
I'm just saying previously it's very easy with Ether to have made the distinction that this is not a flat Earth philosophy, this is a true Earth.
All right.
Actually, as this goes on, it's becoming apparent this is not, again, not a flat Earth position, but a true Earth position.
Sure.
GPS cuts off over a certain height, it's all militarized. But
GPS cuts off at a certain height because it's all militarized. Really? Show. And what does that have anything to do with anything?
D, do you want to add something, D? You've come off your mic a couple of times. Feel free. If you want to add something, you go ahead. D.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to laugh at that.
Don't laugh, though, because it adds to the commentary. Unless you've got something to add.
All right, we can move on. There we go.
There could be layers to it. I don't know.
Now there's layers to it. Layers to what? Is there embroidery to what? Who knows?
If you've ever thought of that, Dave, but there could just be layers. There could be multiple layers. And yeah,
multiple layers to what?
we know the sun affects things here. Tides don't work. You just gish gobs. Tides don't even work in your model. You can look up a paper by.
He doesn't have a model. Now he's giving him a model. What model might that be? Who knows?
A Harvard paper, a century of tidal theory failures.
Gotcha.
Now we're on tidal theory.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very simple. But this was if the whole
what was that again?
Debate is just, hey,
you little meat hooks with your little quotes. What does that mean? What does that non-verbal horseshit mean? Does it mean clown?
Let's just start spamming Austin with questions of how would this work on a flat Earth? That's not a debate. You're supposed to support the claim the Earth's a spinning ball.
You're helping him. Why didn't you? Now you've got it back now. Okay, now don't let it go. Have him prove his globetard. You're on it. Okay?
Show direct falsification of it in my PowerPoint. So avoiding that is totally disingenuous.
Like the rotation of the night sky, depending on latitude.
Back to rotation of the night sky, depending on. Shout out to Nathan latitudes.
Latitude, and you can't answer. You just say the word perspective and run away.
So Dave,
no, I got 3 words out and you interrupted it.
No.
Okay. Here we go. Now we're going to talk about the conversation. And quartering, incoherent, Jabba the Hutt's going to interrupt.
So answer. That's all you could do.
Let me.
You remember we did the whole thing with the clock on the ceiling, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You said that,
fellas.
Okay,
let me do. Okay, I'll play ball. I think that's fair.
Okay, I'll play ball. What?
Right. To be fair to Whitset here, yeah, he's getting rumpus by Dave.
That's
and
true.
Then I called it earlier. When that then happens, the quartering comes in and plays like nothing's gone on. It's just as if the conversation's gone awry and he wants to pull it back. He's not holding Dave to any account, as he is rumpusing the crap out of Whitset.
Yeah, we already know that. I already mentioned it earlier.
I'm just saying it's happened again, isn't it? Look,
Yeah,
what's
it's
happened.
happened.
It's happened again, and in comes the quartering with his completely biased moderating.
Yep. Let's see where he goes.
Pull Dave to account. Yeah.
Why don't I give Dave and Austin both blocks of time?
Why would you give Dave and Austin blocks of time? They just have their blocks of time. You interrupted to give them more blocks of time. Good job, Jabba, you imbecile.
Dave, defend your position. I'll give you 5 minutes enough, you think?
No, we don't need to. I mean, longer
defend what position?
chunks of time are just time for word salads, right? We need to actually.
All right, defend that the Earth is a globe, and then when you're done,
defend that the Earth is a globe. So that means provide evidence of your globe tard, Dave Tard. What are you going to do?
I'll pass it to Austin and let him defend that.
Well, I mean,
right?
look,
That's what you're asking for, Austin, right? So I'm gonna do that.
I want him to rebut the specific falsification of the globe where we see things from hundreds of miles away that should be obstructed by.
No, that's a new topic.
Why? All the criticizing, the quarrying, he's just set you up nice.
Yeah.
Dave to that question.
Yes. Now, Witz had said it first. You need to prove, I'll paraphrase, you need to prove your globe tard. The quarrying has jumped in, all incoherent like, and said, Dave, defend your globe. And now, no, you don't want him to do that now. Do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, like from second to second? Or
No, let me just stop. Let me just explain what's happening. Did you know earlier when I said that Dave's filibustering what you referred to as rumpusing a second ago, Adam, was because he needs to retain control of the conversation? Well, that's, as I described for Dave, an exhibit of weakness. Now, Whitsitt is doing the same thing, saying, I want Dave to go along this road when he defends the globe. So he's laying down the foundation on his behalf once the quartering has suggested that he does as he's asked, which is defend the globe with a positive claim, as you've suggested, QE. But Whitsitt, it's not enough for him. He needs the conversation to go in a certain direction so he can follow his pre-planned script. Now he's demonstrating his weakness by saying, no, not just make your positive claim and defend it. Make sure you positively defend your claim with a we see too far argument. It's a demonstration of his fear that it'll go anywhere other than where he can defend against the globe in that particular assertion with a we see too far explanation from Dave. So that's the foundation Whitsitt's currently laying down through fear.
I agree. I agree.
let's see where it goes now.
By literal miles of vertical curvature, including silhouettes.
Pick one thing. Pick one thing. Like
there's the quartering. Now he's rumpusing the whole thing, trying to get control.
Okay, so that is the question.
Okay, the question is, why do we see too far? And the answer is, we don't. Sorry, they're all lies. Every time you do a picture like
so, they're all lies. Let's just switch topics. We'll just go red herring fallacy with it, unless you want to stop it, Adam.
Yeah, because there, you see, because of what Whitsitt introduced.
Yep.
Now the question on the table is what? Nathan's probably vomiting in a bag right now. Yeah. Why do we see too far? And it's easy because look at what Dave Cream of Wheats just answered, and you can't argue and call him a liar. You don't. Just different levels of refraction each day, isn't it?
No, wait a second.
Now let me finish, because it's just explaining now why we see too far because of the geometry. Not that, we've already presupposed the ball. We're now giving the explanation as to why we see too far because of the presupposed geometric limitation that's now permitted.
Dave's rebuttal was that they're all lies. Let's go. I'm going to pull a J.
From this point, all parties of dealing with the question on the table is why we see too far. Why some days can I see past my geometric limitation? That's the question on the table.
Haven't gotten that far yet.
Geometric limitation has been.
We haven't. Adam's getting frustrated. I just want to make his point a bit more concise. Yes. So, in 2016, we figured out, thanks to help from QE, we lost the moment we used the Earth curve calculator. Right? Now, the question has been moulded by Whitsitt in his fear is to suggest that he answers a question about seeing too far, immediately losing, because now we've got a geometric edge blocking our view, which Adam's getting exasperated about, and he's right to. All bets are off. Doesn't matter where we go from here. There's an Earth curve that should be in the way. Why isn't it? Why are we seeing too far? All bets are off. Loser from this
like
point
that.
forth.
You're lying about the distance. You're lying about the elevation, right?
So he's saying, you're lying about distance. That's what I was getting to.
The altitude from which the picture is taken.
We don't know that yet.
Distance, elevation in regards to the thing that is presupposed, but we're now discussing about whether or not you're truthful about your height in relation to this thing that's now been accepted. That
You're just lying, right? All of these things.
What is the
have been debunked.
picture you're talking about? Is this a picture where?
Nuh-uh. Here's Dave's rebuttal to the train wreck question. Nuh-uh. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
It's actually being rumpus by quartering.
Yeah, he is.
It's like, oh, here's a mountain. That's
They
really...
just take pictures and like, look at this thing that's so far away, we shouldn't be able to see it. Or like, here's the Chicago skyline from across
Now we're back to 2015 with the Chicago skyline.
the lake. Well, we shouldn't be able to see it. They're just always lying. They're just lying about.
They're just stereotype fallacy. They're always lying. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
But the distance, they're lying about various.
They're lying about the distance. What distance?
Wow. Sorry, let me get it straight. I didn't realise this. So Dave's flat versus globe acumen is actually sub 2015. The reason he's doing this liar, liar, pants on fire is he actually doesn't know how to argue this, does he?
No.
Respectfully, Brian, no, that is Rufy's first gambit. Whenever dealing with any kind of observational stuff, the first thing he always does is go, liar, liar, pants on fire, you're not that high. I want you higher. Agree, Brian?
Yeah. Yeah, Dave is like a very uneducated version of Ruhif. Ruhif does it, but with more style, and he has numbers to back up and all the rest of it. Not that he's going to prove that you're lying, because you're not. It's just that he's going to try and imply that you are, or that your height was incorrect, or that he's going to make up a height that he doesn't have. You know what I mean? And wrangle around. That's what he's going to do. Whereas Dave just goes, you're lying, and that's it.
Heights above what in relation to what? Nathan, you should now get this, right?
Well, I'm waiting for that moment.
Let me just finish. How high?
You just had a drink or two. It's not necessarily that moment yet.
Fun. Don't patronise me.
It's not that moment yet. It's almost that moment. It's almost that moment.
Yeah, he keeps on anticipating. He's already given him everything. He's given him the 24-hour sun. Adam has the 24-hour sun when they never said it, from perpetual light and darkness. Just give him everything.
Okay, can we pause? Everyone just chill. Don't hover over the play button. This is a problem at the moment. And I do want to... Adam's going to get it in the neck because of this. Right. People seem to want to make apologetics. And I'm going to give props to Brian because he introduced me to a guy called Deception Detective. Don't read between the lines. Take people at face value. Listen to the words they say and comprehend the words that actually came out of their mouth for what they mean.
Yes, Adam.
And Watering says perpetual. That has a meaning. So you take it at face value, you don't read between the lines, and you certainly don't apologize on their behalf and reinterpret their words to make some semblance of sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Don't try and reinterpret it for them. Or say, oh no, what they mean is 24 hours in Antarctica. No, that's not what he said, though.
That's right. You get that, Adam?
Because that's not what I was relating to.
Cowboy up and fess up. That's what we're relating to you. You've done it a number of times already.
What are you on about?
I told you what you're on about. Do you want me to explain it again?
Let me tell you. It's good. It's a positive trait. Right? I'm not saying you're overly empathic. You're not. Let's not get too carried away. But you are further up the empathic scale, certainly, than myself. So you have a desire to want to offer up a reinterpretation. Oh, well, he's struggling to say this. No, he said that. I don't care what you say. He's struggling to get out and what he means. That's what he said. Now, you, because you're a bit more empathic, want to do that on people's behalf.
Not for the last 5 minutes, I haven't. That's not the point I've been making. I might have done that earlier. My point of frustration here is we're continuing past the point of acceptance that there's a geometric sphere edge in the way, and we're now going to argue. And the debate's got to the point that whether people are liars or deceivers about how high they are above in relation to this geometric sphere edge. This is what's being allowed. Which is
derived from a flat plane. That's where you want me to go. So I'll just go there because it's been dragged out too much for the audience and QE will want to move on eventually. I've paused proceedings. Nevertheless, what Adam's saying is, from this point forth, there's an antidote to what I've said. Oh, right, we've lost immediately. We're begging the question of a sphere-edge horizon that's derived from a flat plane measurement. It's right there in their own maths. And further to that, Adam's saying, what are we now going to start discussing if there's a suggestion that we're lying? He's filling in the blanks, right, QE? But we're there anyway. He's making me do this. I'm going to do it now. Just tolerate it, QE. I know we'll probably cover it again because he's going to unpause soon. Anyway, what's he talking about? He's going to go to the heights. If he's suggesting, oh, no, these people say they're at 300 feet up the mountain. Then they're not. They're liars. Okay. 300 feet above what? Above surface level. Oh, right. And have you got that accurately measured from sea level? No, therefore you're a liar. You're actually this height above sea level. It's like, what? So you're going to start by undoing our claim with an Earth curve mathematical calculator that's using surface level and the differential between eye level parallel with it to claim that there's an Earth curve below surface level, that we can argue about whether or not you're a liar for saying you're this height when you put your height off surface level, sea level, into my maths. We've already begged the question of, therefore I say I've lost, but this is the antidote to that. No, everything that we'll reference from this point forward will be heights with respect to a surface level that's flat.
Yep.
Right, Adam?
Yeah, Mr. Empathic's not the word. Trying to predict where numpties are going to go, and you've just done me as a numpty there. Yeah, I'd have got there eventually, but that's the point. We've gone past the point of being able to introduce the flat Earth proof in this argument. We've gone to the point of presupposition of a ball. So yeah, beautiful. It shouldn't be anywhere near that. We should be holding him back to these claims. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, those were everyone I showed was from a professional photography website that has nothing to do with flat Earth, with all of the information listed.
What are we arguing about?
Model.
Whether or not the picture's genuine height above a presupposed curve. How would you define that curve? I'll cite Nathan's.
Oh, well, they give you the height above globe level, don't they? For the photographers, they go and get a height above globe level, don't they? Oh, no, they don't do that. They declare their height above sea level. That's what they'll argue about within a context of a calculation that will take heights above surface level and distant objects with respect to surface level and how high they are, and calculate the difference with your eye level with respect to that at altitude to give you an extrapolation of an Earth curve that should be below the surface level. You can infer are blocking things when you see optical resolution and its effects of things disappearing into the distance. It's just a hijacking of Earth curve by using flat Earth measurements. That's all they're really talking about. The problem is we allow them, and now for 10 years, to use all sorts of flat Earth references without hesitation. So this discussion moving forward, every time you hear a height declared, think, is this a height above globe level? Yeah, that's an oxymoron, a non-statement, a non-existent measurement. It's height above sea level, flat Earth. They won't, Witzit won't point that out. He'll allow his opponent from this point forth to use heights that are flat Earth only in his globe referencing calculation that derives a globe Earth edge from surface level.
Exactly. So the argument is, how high is this person genuinely or not above globe level? We're not defining that globe level is a nonsense. And to get to globe level, you first of all have to take the prerequisite of flat Earth elevation angles to then presuppose that and calculate it onto a globe level. But we're just talking about the genuineness, about how a photographer took it from a globe level height.
Can you let them argue it?
Model doesn't claim that the distances are wrong. That isn't your model's answer.
No, you guys just lie. You guys just lie. That's all.
Liar, liar, pants on fire again.
Yeah, I've got a further interjection. Sorry, distances. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're talking in the vertical or in the horizontal, does it, Adam? Sorry, distances. What are we going to be talking? Distances in miles, maybe kilometers? What are they? Are they linear distances along a flat plane? I didn't actually notice to find as I meant to give you props, QE. I'm sorry to do a little aside in the middle of a live show. I've never looked up the definition of miles. I knew it was calculated flat, and derived from flat measurements. In the definition itself, it said linear. Now, we were going around in circles the other day on Flat Earth Debate, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to go get you any citations. I'm too lazy. I know I'm right, and I don't care. He's like, well, you haven't proved it to me. Yeah, I don't care. And eventually QE stepped in after that went round for about 10 minutes. I went, go look up the definition of miles. And he's like, right, okay, linear distance. I can't remember the exact definition, but a linear measure of distance or something like that. And he goes, go and look up linear. And then there's a bit of argy-bargy before we get the guy's rough own description of linear not having curve. It's like, well, that's the full stop that, you know, I wasn't prepared to go and get citation to draw. And QE was, with one word, define a mile. Once we've got onto the subject of distance along the plane, we're now going to, again, incorporate that into these maths. So distance, well, you'll need a flat earth for that.
Ryan, you there? Ryan's probably being sick in a bag right now.
Adam, I am so used to this
description of this. Not just I can strap linear onto it. Ryan's the man that explained to us why a statute mile is linear.
Sorry. Adam, I am so used to this. Sorry, just a second, Kiwi. Every day on the Flat Earth Debates, I'm listening about this person and that person that gave Nathan all this great information. And it's like, I never said nothing to him. It's like Brian didn't exist. Every day it's happening. I water off a duck's back at this stage.
Yeah. What did I do? Just not credit you?
Yeah,
did I credit?
You didn't credit him.
Thank
you, Adam.
We went over it a million times, and you needed QE to come in and break it down.
Neil,
so Brian,
you don't have to whine out for me, right? I can take this on the chin. There's a word. There's a reason. Hello, can I defend myself? Hello?
Not attacking QE before you try to turn it into that. Not attacking QE. This is not an indictment on QE at all. Thank you, Adam.
Okay, yes, you're right to ascribe credit where it's due. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a reason for it. It's called complacency. And I do need to apologise, Brian. It is complacency. Yeah.
Adam, do you ever notice the way he apologises after he's been called out? Every time.
You can't apologise before. Bloody hell. You're like a woman.
Yes,
no,
he is.
I want you to be sorry before I've told you what the problem is.
All right, can we move on? Here we go. Let's get to this. I want to hear this.
All I know is I kept on hearing level. That's all I know.
That's all it is. You just lie about how far away things are and how high.
It's a professional photography website. It has nothing to do with flat Earth.
Well, can you share one so people can see what you guys are talking about, please?
Yeah,
sure.
Anyone you want, as long as Dave agrees that it looks good.
As long as Dave agrees that it looks good? What?
It's because it's a neutral platform.
Share one that you think, Austin, that you think. I'm trying to, share one that you think.
I'm trying to, another sentence fragment. Are you even literate? Do you do literacy, dude?
Supports your position, and then Dave can debunk the photo, or he can share.
Dave can debunk a photo. Oh boy.
What's he gonna go? That's not a photo.
Meanwhile, from NASA.
And while he's looking that up, I want to give everyone a chance, let you know. I'm joined here by two creators.
What? Now you're going to introduce him again in the middle of the debate?
He's doing a live stream. Let him do his thing. Just spin on while he does his
two
thing.
Commentators, both.
Now we got to go into, yes, well, there's the etheric productions from Boy Zero to Sky Grifter, the True Earther.
Witsit Gets It Done on YouTube. Linked in the description. Is at YouTube at
Witsit Gets It Done. Is that his new name?
Should have labelled that more. First thing you see on his channel, on the video that he's got on his front page. Oh, that reminds me. Someone gave me $50 to change my secondary channel's 6-year-old advertising for a meetup or something. They're like, can you get that changed so I can share your channel? Anyway, I've disclosed that in case someone does go and say, you've got no room to talk. Anyway, the first thing it says is, Etherian Productions.
Yeah, let's go back.
He's wearing it right there on his sleeves. He's disclosing it for everybody to see. You go to Witzit's channel. Are you going there? Flat Earth information. Because it says it right on the front cover of his homepage. What he's really actually peddling. It says it right there. Etheric Productions. That's what he's doing.
That's quite funny, isn't it? If you think about what you pick, represent yourself. So when I did the Ballbusters intro, look at what I do. Parallel plane productions, yeah. A Sextant Cinema. Yeah? Admittedly, there's a Shut Up Neil Productions as well, but do you understand? Things that are relevant to you is what you pick. What's your agenda here? What was my agenda with Parallel Plane? Yeah, Perspective Point Productions. What's my agenda there? What am I trying to get over to people? What's the agenda here? And this is what I say. This is not a flat earther. This is a true earther. And they have a much. They may well say to you. They may not be able to say to you that they know balls to bone it's flat. Yeah, but they may incorporate flat earth in some of their anti-ball rhetoric. They have their own agenda, and that's true earth, which incorporates all of this waffle.
Yeah, you mispronounced it. It's called True Earther.
Why do you say that?
Witzig.
Why do I say
an in-joke?
Yeah, it's an in-joke.
Gets it done on YouTube. Linked in the description. It's a YouTube app.
Oh, boy.
You just don't know the rules. Yeah, you don't just say, yeah, that is an in-joke. No, you then have to explain it to the audience. Because, no, our in-jokes aren't relevant to the people we're broadcasting to, so therefore, why would you call it a twoo earther?
True Earther. It's not an in-joke. It's a name that I gave it because I give names to things like cream of wheat and such. Get it now?
To me, it reminds it's an Elmer Fuddery, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a hunting wabbits. I'm a true earther hunting wabbits.
You good, Nathan? We good?
Yeah, it's arbitrary.
At Witsit and as well as Professor Dave. Also enjoyed your Terrence Howard video because I think he actually is legitimately insane, but that I don't know.
Yeah,
but
remember we tore this video up back in the day. Oh, it wasn't
spin
that long
on.
ago.
Just spin through his call to action. Just spin through this.
All
I want you forward.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Your backspace in one show. I've seen you backspace.
Shut
about
up!
50
You've been going on and on and on and on about nothing. You're dogging me out.
Yeah, don't let him tell you what to do.
Oh, here we go. You've set off the woman.
Here we go.
Recategorizing me as a woman. Sorry.
No, go ahead. She interrupted us.
Actually,
Recategorizing me as a woman.
Let's not do this. I don't want to. All right, I take it back. Stop. Right, let's just draw a line. We're both going to fight for the mic, aren't we? Right, I draw a line. Let's not.
I was speaking first. If you want to go back on the recording, you recategorizing me as a woman. This is going to happen. Is a way of you getting rid of the fact that you keep on. He's wampus me.
He's going to apologize after you're done.
As soon as he's done, I'm going to apologise. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Number one, no need for the sexism. Number one, there's plenty of strong women out there, so it's not even a reasonable comparison. It's rubbish, garbage, low blow by me that needs to be taken back immediately. No need for it. This show's been called out for being sexist, by the way. So for me to do it is probably not a good idea. So there's a whole number of reasons to say sorry and just move on.
Yeah, we're moving.
Both guys create content.
We're moving.
One of the people in this
YouTube. I make popular content, man. I make popular content because it's funny.
You make popular content. Good.
Important bit. Someone's going to debunk this photo. Let's get on.
Yeah, we're going to get on with it. Here we go. So we got this. I've seen this before. That was a long time ago, I think. It's blurry, but okay.
Can we just accept the absolute ball-busting annoyance that I'm suffering right now, that we're about to spend, I don't know how long, explaining why we see too far?
Yep.
You're prioritized by the algorithm.
Let's do the antidote to it before we even start. And
we already did.
We're done. No, we didn't offer the antidote. Adam did that earlier. I'm going to re-inject it here, Adam. Right. What we're looking at on screen. What's this? 275 miles. I know a fantastic and beautiful human being called Brian's Logic, who's got a thing to say about that in a minute, but I'm going to hand it over to him because he deserves every single bit of the respect when he talks about that 275 miles. Anyway, observation height. I'll pass this one to Adam. What do you think that 9.272 feet is, Adam?
I'm assuming that's a description of the observer's position above a reference point called the level.
Reference plane. It's not a point.
Plane.
Reference plane.
Adam's a shill. He's a baller. He's, here to
He's a baller.
I mean,
Right,
good
Brian.
tangent. Holy shit.
No swearing. Brian.
Use my French, both in terms of point and tangent and the other.
You better get closer to that mic.
Let's just give
You
up
get
on
my
Adam.
point.
Six sheets to the wind. Let's just give up. He's a lost
I'm
cause.
lost.
Brian.
What do I have to say about the photograph? Where's the,
No. What does it say on the first
where's
line?
The first
What
line.
does it say on the first? What's it say on the first line?
On the first line, 1 second now. Distance 275 miles. Yeah, that would be a horizontal distance.
Perfect.
You can break that up into inches, you know.
Yep.
They're
Hey,
not
cool.
called.
Okay.
And
okay.
all right. And
the
we could
second
do
line.
dimensional analysis and turn it into kilometers.
Just don't ask me to convert those into
They're
meters.
not called.
Right.
Meter or meter.
Is
We can turn a whole lot back into feet.
Wait a second.
Sorry.
Wait a second. For the first time today, I heard booger.
That's a lie. You heard him before the show.
That's it. Okay, it wasn't actually a lie. I just forgot. Booger.
Booger?
Super chat. Supernova. Super mustache. Super booger.
Sasha sent, we don't see too far. We see what we see. And he said he used the wrong two, even though right before that I helped him out and corrected it, but he still used the wrong two. It's okay.
Thanks, Sasha. Go ahead. What were we arguing about?
we were arguing about whether or not which way this argument's going to go, and this is my point. What's been put on screen, whether I read the second line or the first line, invoke a straight mile distance or an observer height, which is a height above a flat plane, sea level. What I can't do is deal with the third line. I can deal with the fourth, it's the same as the second. Yeah. And what I can't do in Witz's shoes here is argue as to why I see too far. I can go front foot forward here and do what Nathan did with regards to distance and miles and describe how they are and they're linear, etc. I can describe observer height in terms of what is its height above a flat plane, which is sea level. I wouldn't go past that point. I don't need to look at the picture, because to analyze the picture, we have to be Socratic here. Terms need defining, and those terms are distance, miles, which are straight linear measurements, and height, which are in reference to a flat plane. Once we've agreed on those terms, I'm quite happy to look at the picture.
Yes. Good point. So what he's saying here, folks, is this distance and this observer height, these two measures, these are flat earth proofs. That's what Adam just said.
No, it's things that people like to watch are prioritized by the algorithm.
If I Google
Nobody
Witsit
wants
gets it,
you
you
guys.
Oh my God, they're arguing about their channels.
It's
come up.
So few people are stupid enough to fall for a flat Earth, so nobody watches you guys.
Oh, Dave, listen.
Interesting.
If I YouTube Witsit gets it geocentrism, a literal stream I did, you pop up. Can you explain to me why you're popping?
Now, that's called karma. That's the same thing that Jaren used to Nathan. You can't be right because your channel's smaller than mine.
Yep.
Or Wiener. Yeah. That's the logic that's being. This is playground childish.
Yep. That's why he's boy zero. The boy part is that part.
It's also human instinct to do this. And if you're a YouTuber, which both of these two guys are, so I'm maybe just speaking to them when I say this, maybe I'm speaking to a more broader audience, it doesn't matter. You drive yourself nuts if you do this. Because no matter how high you climb on the YouTube scale, there's always going to be someone bigger, right? You know, you're never going to be T-Series or PewDiePie. And even if you were, you're fighting to keep your first place. In other words, there's this constant trying to strive to be better. So the only thing you can do is focus on your own performance within what you do and trying to grow your own channel. If I did this, I could insert myself just below Witsit in this hierarchy and go, Witsit gets all the views. They're all being directed to him because he's a true earther and they don't want the actual flat earth truth that we're... You could do that. Garbage and nonsense. All you can do is focus on how well you're doing. Otherwise, you get to the level of Alex Jones and you go, the BBC are getting so much more views on YouTube than I am. You've always got someone above you.
I've got a new one.
Amen.
Thanks. That helped. That.
Got a new fallacy. If I can just try.
Go ahead, Flatsy.
Oh man, you're right.
I can sense QE's blood sugar dropping, guys. So tread carefully.
That's when Brian's supposed to fill in while he gets some fruit.
That's a good idea. We could have a little discussion for 2 or 3 minutes while Kiwi goes off, gets himself a glass of orange juice, shoots himself up with a bit of adrenaline or whatever he does when he goes to the bathroom. I don't know.
Quick, is this not an appeal to statistics fallacy? With regards to what's gone off with...
It's appeal to popularity.
I thought you were going to get orange juice.
Statistics.
It's more...
YouTube's not popularity, it's a statistic. By definition, it's not a definite measure of popularity. That's why I said, is it an appeal to statistics?
Oh, brother.
No.
He's not taking that as
yes. I'm taking that as a
Everyone stop.
Flatsy,
stop a second. Flatsy, he's not listening to you. I can see his mouse moving. Did you want a little break, Kiwi? Because otherwise, in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I think she's right. You'll be wanting to round out and you'll be appealing to Brian to round the show out. Whereas if we can get you to go and get a cake, we can probably have another hour out of you.
No, continue on. And make it quick.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some... Look, because of a bias towards Witsit, there's a very pertinent point being missed here. What Witsit is pointing out is that when people search for his channel, they find Professor Dave. Professor Dave is stating the reason for that is because he's more popular. It's not that he's more popular, it's that he's favoured by the algorithm that Witsit is not favoured by. The same as I'm not favoured by, you're not favoured by QE, and you're not favoured by Nathan. So Dave is denying that the algorithm favours him and he's rubbish. That's what's actually going on. So listen to it. Don't let your bias get in the way of what's actually happening.
I really don't care. This is childish. This is childish playground stuff.
I wouldn't waste my time with it. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't go through that in a debate. But it's still, the point is still true.
Yeah, right. You're correct, but it's childish. It's playground tactics. We're gonna move.
Up when I search for me. Okay, let's not play games.
Let's try it.
Let's not play games. Meanwhile, he brought it up.
YouTube admitted in Congress they deprioritize flat Earth content because it's misinformation. So what?
Yeah, I don't get it. I got, if the Earth is flat, what's under it? Shorts.
Yeah,
solar system from Earth's perspective.
Of course, because it's heavily censored. It doesn't mean it's true, but we don't have to play this game that like you're not propped up.
Just recommends popular content, but I make very good, informative, educational content.
You're a moron. Let's get through.
Look at that. What do you? Wait, go down. What do you have to do with wits?
What the hell was that? What? Let's hear that again.
Solar system from Earth's perspective.
Of course, because it's heavily censored. It doesn't mean it's true, but we don't have to play this game that like you're not propped up.
Just recommends popular content, but I make very good, informative, educational content.
Look at that. What do you? Wait, go down. What are you?
What are you doing? What are you doing down here? What the hell, Boy Zero? Look at you.
Non sequitur response from Dave, and again justification based on statistics. Yeah, I make this, which means that I have authority in something else.
Who cares? Who cares? Look at this behavior.
Right. That was the point. That was the
He's
point.
getting frustrated if he doesn't get acknowledged. Right. He said it twice, now 3 times, and nobody seems to be acknowledging him. The non sequitur point that's being argued about the algorithmic favoritism that's put after it's just been justified by Witsit, it's been explained by Witsit, isn't what QE wants to focus on. He's saying this isn't debate worthy, it's childish nonsense. Yeah? Where's the debate? What's it descended into? Well, this. Who gets the most algorithmic love from YouTube?
It's pathetic. Are you
Huey,
missing
this
the
reminds me
forest?
of-
Are you missing the forest through the trees?
You're talking about appeal to statistics.
Say that one. I want you to say that 3 times.
No, I struggled. Did you notice that I did? An appeal to statistics fallacy.
Or probability.
Oh, I
Who
struggled.
cares? All right. Can we move on?
Wait a minute. I want
Yes.
to say something. This reminds me of the recent Trump-Biden debate.
Oh, God.
You talk, Chewy. That's what this reminds me of. Dave and this Witsit thing. That's what it reminds me of.
All right.
Two
Needed you earlier.
babbling idiots.
Yep. That's what we got. Here we go.
You have to do with
Okay.
Witsit gets to geocentrism. What
Third
does what does your video have to do with it? You
I
just
don't know.
proved my point live for the whole entire audience.
Maybe I
Thank
put
you.
the keyword geocentrism in there. I don't even remember what my keywords are.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You don't know. You don't know what my keywords are.
I know for a fact you didn't. So anyway,
You don't have
let's
access
get
to
back
my
to the
YouTube
photo.
because
studio.
I've
You don't know
tested,
what my
I've
keywords
tested
are.
this because you're the #1 propped up anti-flat Earth. Dude, they admitted in
boy.
Congress that they consider it misinformation, so they deprioritize
copyrighted.
it and
There we go.
Copyrighted anti-flat Earth.
they prioritize the information, correcting the misinformation.
Right.
See, that would
Anyway, stop. 'Cause this needs fast forward. This is Nathan's made it. I've tried to interrupt a couple of times to make it. This is the measure of a man. Okay, so you heard my initial rebuttal is to laugh and ridicule and point out the fallacy. And what you don't do is demean yourself and go into the playground and go, no, my dad is bigger than your dad, which is what's happening now. This. It's it, dude. Stop it. Yeah, be bigger than this. It's just.
No, he's not. He's had this same behavior with Nathan when Nathan called him a boy.
Yeah,
Petulant
and that's why
child.
I said at the beginning of this, it's karma, isn't it? Because
Yep.
this is what they cited against Nathan. It's quite good karma because the fallacy they used was my statistical stuff is better than yours, therefore I'm more correct than you. And now Dave can use that same fallacy against them. And it's hard now when you've used that against your guys when we were talking about whether or not science proved things or not. That was the fallacy you invoked. Now it's...
Oh, God damn. You forced me into doing this, and it's going to really annoy QE. And I've even just, flown his, held his torch in terms of this is all non sequitur and playground stuff. However, I do want to drop something in, and if QE will tolerate it.
Go ahead.
So the QE's, can I do this so
Yeah,
the
go
audience
ahead.
knows
Yeah.
what we're talking about?
Go ahead.
Right, so Jaron got in touch and used this fallacy. I don't probably have to reiterate it. The panel have done a good enough job of giving you the idea of what Jaron was basically saying. I'm bigger than you are, therefore I'm more right. Okay, that's the general gist. Well, what I actually did, just to make a point, although it is still very much playground, was actually go and have a little look. So I went and had a look at his views, and then went and had a look at mine, which were considerably higher, and went and pointed that out to him. I'm like, well, actually, I've got quite a few more views than you. And he gave me a little example of if Bob goes out and earns £5 and Terry goes out and works 5 times longer for £1 an hour, is Bob doing better than Terry? It's like, well, no, Terry's doing better. He's earned £6. Yeah, he's worked 6 hours and Bob's only worked 1. He's still got more pound coins at the end. But that was Jaron's logic to me, saying, well, I only have to work for an hour to get my less views than you. It's still a lot. Like, yeah, but I've got more. If you want to compare stats and say I'm bigger, like nobody gives a toss about subscribers. All YouTube care about is how long you get people to stay on their website, which is views and view time. Well, I'm better than you. is what I went back to him with. I mean, I'm not. It's meaningless crap, and I've got to accept that because that's the status that we're putting into this discussion. But just to make that point, you know, I've just, in terms of my combined views for Nathan Oakley 1980 and Nathan Oakley, just tipped over 10 million. So I've got a lot of views. And yeah, I work very, very hard to get them. That's what you got to do when you're suppressed. But I've worked hard to get them and so shown growth. And Jaron's gone to alternative platforms because he's seen a demise in his channel. It's decreasing in views. It's getting less. Well, that's crap. That's not what you need. You need growth, which is what I'm getting. So I've got more. Anyway, it's playground garbage. It's not really worth it. But I just wanted to drop that in case the audience perceives that, oh, Jaron was saying I'm bigger than you. Well, I actually had a response to that, which is I've got considerably more views.
I think we got that. Are you employing the strategy of tell them?
Yes.
Tell them what you told them, then tell them again?
Yes.
Thanks.
I wanted to reiterate
Would be
that I've
you,
got 10 million
according
views.
to them. So they prioritize you. If you look up anything Flat Earth related, you get Professor Dave. Okay, we all know that content blows the rest of your content out. That's why you got so many tens of millions of views.
Look, I have 1,500 tutorials. Do we really want to talk about my education?
No, bro, I'm not even.
Yeah, we want to talk about your education. Yes, we do.
This is interesting because this is what Witsit and Dave could be a really million times bigger ball, or Flat Earth Dave, yeah, is grifting on. This is what Witsit is now telling or accusing Dave of why he's got the views. It's not because of his educational content, which is what Dave's claimed. It's because he hijacks the title Flat Earth. Karma, mother crusher.
Yep.
This is, isn't it? Because this is what these guys are doing, and which is what we're asking them to cease and desist. Stop using Flat Earth. All of you.
Yeah, I see what you do. That's brilliant, Adam. Did you hear that, Nathan?
Yeah, I did. Good catch.
That's the same thing. You are cream of wheat, Dave. What's it? Good job. Good job, Adam. You caught that.
I hope good luck, brother. I'm not hating on you or your success. I'm just pointing.
You think that's success? Witsit's measure of success is subscribers. That's his measure. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the double-speaking lion surrat piece of shit. There he is. He just said it. Unbelievable.
They would exist. They would exist perfectly in a social credit system. Nice job, communist.
Yep.
I'm literally not, dude. If you make $400 million, I don't care. I wish you would. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm just pointing out, bro. I'm just pointing out.
Bro. But I don't really want to talk about that.
Awesome.
The objective fact that it's C-part.
Austin, I love you, but hold on.
You actually love Austin? Now, the Jabba the Hutt imbecile is going to Jedi mind trick his way in. What else now?
Now, here's a picture that Austin shared. Nobody denies that this picture exists.
Who would deny that the picture exists when the picture's right here?
Austin, what do you say this is showing? Now, remember, I keep bringing it back because people who are watching aren't as balls deep as you guys both are in the topic. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So this is just a picture to me. What does this show?
Okay, so this was the world record.
Pause. Before we go on with what this picture shows, there's only one important fact involving this picture. Within this debate, there is no globe's geometric edge in the picture. Where would geometrically have to be? We don't need to go around in circles about their claims of refracted anything. That geometry does not exist. End of story.
Outstanding, Brian.
We don't need to go any further.
Yep, I agree 100%.
At the time, it's been beaten now for the longest line of sight photograph ever taken. This is a mountain called Pic Gaspard. Okay. And it was so now on a globe. If I look out,
Nate, you're gonna feel the wrath.
Why are we doing this?
The
It's
Earth should
2024.
Yep.
He's a flat earther. He's got this picture. Prove Earth's flat with it. What's his first gambit? We're back into the debate. We're into the wrangle dangle. This is your flat Earth position on a globe. What's he doing? He's not my representative. What did we do preemptively when we took this image? We looked at the first two lines and said you need a flat Earth for them. This is the measurements that they're basing the argument on. You need a flat Earth for them. What's Witzit's gambit? On a globe. Just get him out of our arena. What's he doing?
should be curving and blocking things in the distance, similar to how I can't look around a corner, right? Varies, like if I look, it's like looking at a hill. So if based on your height,
taken at 12,000 feet though, right?
Taken at 12,000 feet. Can't you read? It says 9,272 feet.
All right, Brian, could we play a little game with me? Feet get mentioned in altitude terms, right?
Yeah.
I need some sort of parody. I'll say off globe level. And if they say a distance, I want you to interject and give a parody of a flat distance. Like how can you parody miles so it's globe parody?
Well, you can't. They're linear.
You can just add that. You can't, they're linear. Right, exactly. If they ever mention miles, just say you can't, they're linear. And if they mention height, I'll say, well, off globe level, sarcastically. Just so it's clear to the audience that every time this argument's made, so we're keeping concise, I'll add what off globe level, and you can say, nah, they're linear. Just so that everyone's aware of how this argument actually works. Sorry, QE, you're going to have to bear with us.
Yeah, but that's what Adam pointed out earlier. The height above sea level and the distance along sea level are flat Earth proofs. It's a perpendicular. Well, those two things are perpendicular to each other.
looking at a hill. So if based on your height,
taken at 12,000 feet though, right?
But
correct.
But based on your height above globe level, what's it?
Yes, 12,000.
No.
12,000 feet. That's what that gentleman just said. Let's see if it is.
That's right. So what you do is you.
Whitsit said that's right. So Whitsit, don't you know your own proof? It says 9,000 feet. But you said that's right to him at 12,000. Besides this being a flat Earth proof, you don't know the numbers that are written on your proof. Did you hear that? Let's go back. I know it's pedantic, but that's we need it
around a corner, right? Varies like
shut up.
If I look, it's like looking at a hill. So if based on your height,
taken at 12,000 feet though, right?
He just said it's taken at 12,000 feet though, right? What's it?
Correct, right. So what you
correct, right? He doesn't know his own proof.
Doesn't even have
what you need to be pedantic about are what constitutes the units you're using.
We already went over
what
that.
they are in reference to.
We already went over that 3 times.
The most important bit though, let him.
It's the only important bit. You don't need to argue the rest.
I know I don't, but he said it, so I'm holding him to task.
Yeah, but you shouldn't argue the rest until those units and what they're in reference to have been defined. There's nothing to argue until you've done that.
I'm
And when
not
you
arguing
have done
with that.
You've won.
I understand that. I already said they're flat Earth proofs. I'm only dealing with the words coming out of his mouth now.
I know, I'm just talking to the screen.
Yeah, Adam's trying to be a teacher. Adam's trying to communicate with the audience, and QE's just desperate to get into the video so he can rant at Witsit. Just chill, QE, chill.
I already said they're flat Earth proofs. Jesus. And you've said it. Brian said it. Adam said it 3 times. Can we move on?
Let's pack up. Let's round out and go home. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'll give it another 15 minutes.
What you do is you pull up Earth curve calculator, you put the observer height in, and then it'll tell you where the horizon will be, and it'll tell you how much of the target.
Pause. The observer height in above what?
Above globe level. God, Adam, I'm not even on the ball. I was thinking about painkillers.
Hidden height there is. So this is from the Earth curve calculator, official calculator, and if you look at it, the observer was 9,000.
Pause. Hidden height above what? What are we?
Above globe level. Above globe level. It's above sea level. It's a flat Earth proof that is whistling past in their argument about a globe and how much we can't see because of an Earth curve edge that gets in the way derived from this flat Earth that we're describing the heights from. He's just whistling past it. Witsit's giving it him. Yeah, use my height above globe level. Oh, there isn't one.
Feet up. The target hidden height, meaning how much Earth curvature should be there, is 16,000 feet, and the top of the tallest part of the mountain is only 12,000 feet. That means the top
above globe level. The height of that mountain above globe level. No, they're both on the same plane. They've both got the same reference. They're both described from flat Earth, sea level.
top of that mountain should be 4,000 feet below Earth curvature.
Now it's arguing for globe and how much there should or shouldn't be with respect to an Earth curve edge that we definitely should have in our way, and we're explaining why it isn't. Meanwhile, the heights is described have been with respect to a surface level, and so have the distances. Right, Brian? Be sure.
Yes, Nathan. Sorry, my hands are wet. Yes.
Okay, and then Dave, what do you say to that?
Two things. One, I cannot verify any of those numbers. Those could absolutely be fabricated by you.
Absolutely, he's right.
Here you go. So,
and number two,
we're this earlier. This is roofie step number one. This is what all the ballers will first do to you. Question the validity of the thing because it doesn't fit the ball. So step number one, you're a liar. How do I know these numbers are true?
We're not doing any of the math. So those are two things that are not being verified. So instead, let's talk about something purely conceptual and intuitive. Why can we see far?
Intuitive. I've heard that term mentioned the past 2 days. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
on Flat Earth Debate. Yeah, it came up in the politics server. You know, if we can ignore semantics, words, their meanings, definitions, can we not take an intuitive line? Well, in order to take an intuitive line and communicate it to another person, would we not need the semantics of language to do that? But what you actually mean is we can take a la land explanation from someone else and say that we already understand it when we've never experienced it, therefore intuitive.
What's intuitive?
Yeah,
what's he trying to mug you off with?
Without conscious. Was that rhetorical? Was that rhetorical? No. You said what's intuitive. I was going to answer you.
Oh, go on then. Sorry.
Without conscious reasoning.
No, I was going to say the fact that we see too far. That's what he's asking the listener to become intuitive. That this whole thing is we see too far. Yeah? Intuitively, we're looking at that and we're going, "Oh, I can see too far." Why? Oh, yeah, the only intuitive reason you want a ball.
Yeah, well, with his explanation in a minute, it's going to be a slightly looming non-standard refraction high in a holographic projection of the mountains from behind the geometric sphere edge that we should have in the way, but we're seeing a bit too far because it's a refracted image with respect to the now probably also refracted geometric horizon that we're not seeing when we assume that we've got one when we derive it from flat Earth measurements. It's all very intuitive. You just need to understand it. And we all do. We're just seeing too far.
Farther with elevation.
You're on the screen. Be careful.
What happened?
I know.
Awesome. Okay. I was just saying.
This guy's just denying basic math.
There is no math here. All there is numbers. You haven't performed any mathematical functions just yet, moron. Everyone else has.
Well, yeah. That's what the whole show was about.
Oh, I forgot.
Reacted to the video. Yeah, when they bring up intuitive, what they're actually doing there is asking you, because they're not actually referring to your intuition, they're asking you to amalgamate the word intuitive mentally with the word imagination.
Yeah, that's right. I was just thinking that too.
That's what they want.
Thanks.
When I didn't realize it, so I was just telling them.
Yeah, I guess a good look.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me finish the thing I was saying.
Go ahead. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So we can't verify any of these numbers. So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon.
At the horizon? How do you have a horizon on a ball tard? I don't think he's familiar with I don't think he's familiar with the slope-intercept formula. The slope of dope because he's a dope. You can't have horizons on a globe tard. According to the slope-intercept formula, y equals mx plus b, all horizontal lines which are derived from the horizon have a rate of change of slope of 0. Unfortunately for the baltards, the definition of curvature by the United States Naval Academy is the rate of change of slope of non-zero. So, how come in reality we have rates of change of slope of 0, but yet we're told that our reality must have a rate of change of slope of non-zero in every direction from a tangent from our feet? This is a paradox, folks.
Yeah, and further to that, and not to undermine it, Brian already sort of ripped this a new one anyway, didn't he, when he identified the topographical horizon that we're actually looking at in this image? What are we even dealing with?
Yeah, there is no horizon in this photo.
Come back to the horizon, the rate of change of slope, because this is where Ada Patada comes in. Makes sense to the UK. What QE said is brilliant. Just give me your formula again, please, QE, your rate of change of slope.
Y equals mx plus b.
Okay, so for all of us over here, this is not rate of change of slope. This is the equation of the line. Y equals mx plus c. M is the rate of change that we're referring to, and therefore it will become 0 because there is no rate of change. Therefore, mx is 0. So all we've got is the plus c, which is that straight line that is the horizon.
That's a good point, Adam. Thank you for saying that, because it does have a different phraseology in different countries. Everyone in the United States will recognize when I say rate of change of slope, because they were taught that in 6th grade or right at the beginning of junior high school. Yep. Thanks, Adam.
If we go up in elevation,
intuition doesn't tell us anything. It's without conscious reasoning.
I'm just waiting for him to say one of these heights or distances.
I know that's what you're waiting for.
We can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat Earth because that actually increases.
Look what he did. Look what he did. Watch his hand. Watch his right hand.
We can see farther.
What? Oh, I'm going to go back. There's something here. Sorry about that. Let me go. Let me pull it, Jay. I'm going to go back. What's your point, Dave?
So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon, if we go up in elevation, we can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat.
I saw it.
What? I missed it. What did I miss? What am I missing?
He's saying that it's not intuitive that at a lower elevation, that when compared to, let's say I'm lying down and I'm looking at something, that it's not intuitive that if I stand up, I see more, I see further.
I thought it was something else, but...
Sorry, Matrix. Sorry, whoever that was. It was Matrix. I'll go ahead then. Nathan, what he's saying is that when you vertically raise in altitude, that because of that, you see further horizontally, and that has nothing to do with a flat plane.
Can I hear it again?
Yes, it can. Listen to
it's worth it, Jay, because it's almost a bulletproof.
Let's listen closely.
Simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon, if we go up in elevation, we can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat Earth.
What a turkey. That is the best bulletproof I've heard. On a flat Earth, if you go up in elevation, you can't see a bit further. Boom. It's a ball. I take it all back, everything.
That. I'll tell you what, the retardation is really, really close to the stars spinning in opposite directions. I shit you not. That is one of the dumbest things I think I ever friggin' heard. What is the horizon based on? How far is the horizon? What is that based on?
Okay.
That's based off, yeah.
Your height. The observer's height and feet. You clown, Dave. You cream of wheat idiot. Unbelievable. Let's continue.
Because that actually increases.
Oh, God.
Dave don't dip. That's his trouble, isn't it?
Thanks.
We can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat Earth because that actually increases the distance to the horizon, right? If you're going up.
You just answered.
The distance to what, Dave?
He just train wrecked himself. He just said as you increase your observer height, the distance to the horizon gets further. He just train wrecked himself in the same breath. You ain't getting this. Are you? Hello?
I think in his mind, that's only on a ball right now.
There's one thing in their list. The only thing that obscures your view as far as a standard rhetoric baller is concerned, there's only one thing in the list, Earth curve. That's it.
I'm pulling a full J. I need this full. I need it in full. I'm pulling 2 J's. You got to listen to this.
Let me finish the thing I was saying.
Go ahead. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So we can't verify any of these numbers. So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon, if we go up in elevation, we can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat Earth because that actually increases the distance to the horizon, right?
What? Yes, it does. Yes, I agree. On a flat Earth, it does. That's exactly correct. That's called dip.
I think I've just picked up on the contradiction. He's saying that increases your distance to the horizon. That is seeing further, but he's also saying this is an example of why it wouldn't be. So it's completely contradictory.
Well, if he goes back to the photograph that was just up there, between the Pyrenees and the Alps, where is this geometric edge that he's saying that he's seeing to in that photograph?
There isn't one. It was the first thing you did, Brian. You identified it immediately.
You just won't,
this is a non-argument with the image.
You just won't let it. You just don't get it, do you? Let me play it again for you, okay, Mr. Geometrics? My God.
I was going to ask you a question.
I don't know why I'm being attacked.
You're not.
Oh my God, man. What's the question?
What is the cause of dip? I.e., what is the variance in the height of eye correction? Is it A, height of eye, or B, Earth curve?
Hell, Lima. You know better than to ask me that. Come on. Hey.
This is Dave's problem. This is why he thinks it's non-intuitive on a flat Earth, because he thinks the height of eye correction is to do with Earth curve, not height of eye.
Guys still ain't getting it.
Maybe not.
Nathan got it. You still haven't got. Do you want me to play it again?
Oh, was I right?
Yes. He contradicted himself blatantly within the same breath.
He's saying it's counterintuitive to say on a flat Earth you'd see further, and then he goes on to say because if you rose in altitude, the horizon would be further away. Like what? Like seeing further?
What am I? Chopped liver? Are you deaf?
Yeah, he's just referring to his globe. I don't see how. What you're not. You're the ones not seeing it, not us. Yeah. Me and Adam are totally on the ball.
Okay, I'm ending it.
As usual.
You guys are retarded. Let me play it one more time for everyone to catch it.
Okay, let me finish the thing I was saying.
Go ahead. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So we can't verify any of these numbers. So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon.
Shut up!
No, what are all the numbers that he's relating to talking about?
Who knows? Let's go back. Listen to what he says.
I bloody know. I've just been held to ridicule as I've described it. Brian support. I know what the numbers he's talking about relate to.
We're not talking about the numbers that are related to. We're talking about his statement. Focus.
Doing it again. It's like when I talked about deception detective, and he's doing it again.
I know he is. Listen closely.
Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So we can't verify any of these numbers. So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon, if we go up in elevation, we can see farther.
Okay, you got that? So we're standing there, we're looking at the horizon. If we go up in elevation, we can see further. Got it?
That is not intuitive on a flat Earth.
That is not intuitive on a flat Earth. You guys with us so far? Then listen.
Because that actually increases the distance to the horizon, right?
You don't get it.
Right, there's the first paradigm. I'm with you, yeah? My critique is his reification. He doesn't understand.
All right, I'm wrapping it up. I can't
No!
take this anymore. I'm wrapping this up, man.
Kiwi's taking his ball and going home.
No.
It's just not tickled you. I didn't tickle me at all. I spotted the contradiction after it was pointed out. And then Kiwi was like, oh, Nathan's got it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't find it funny. This time I found it funny.
But what is the contradiction? I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing him referring to his globe. That's all I'm hearing. And denying perspective over
Let me break it down
plane.
for you. Let me paraphrase it for you. He's saying, listen here, lads. When you rise in altitude, you see further. Right? That's intuitive. But if Earth was flat, that's not intuitive anymore. Oh, really, Dave? Why? Well, because when you rise in altitude, you see the horizon going further away. That was his example to demonstrate why it's counterintuitive to say that for a flat Earth. It isn't. It's just described seeing further as his example of why it would be counterintuitive to suggest that on a flat Earth. His example is literally seeing further as an example of saying that wouldn't work on a flat Earth. You wouldn't see further because the horizon gets further away. It makes absolutely no sense. It's such a stupid statement.
Well, I didn't read it as that. I read it as he was referring to his globe every time he referred to the horizon.
Yeah, you've got the same problem as Adam. You're just that little bit too high on the
Not a problem. Play on then. We'll see which one he's referring to.
And Brian, before we carry on, I got that point. I laughed at it twice, moved on, and then my future points of ridicule is to point out why this retard can come to that conclusion, or has to have cognitive dissonance to come to that conclusion. Because this is the point: to reify his position, a flat earther cannot actually see further if they go higher.
Yeah.
Agree, QA?
Yeah. Oh, stop. Yes, Adam. If we go back to the diagram, Adam, put if you still got it on screen for the audience, QE, the video.
I do not.
Right, at some point, it doesn't matter. In the next couple of seconds, he scrolls down and shows the orthographic view in Earth curve calculations. And Adam's suggesting that because he's a glober, in his mind, there's only one cause for things being obscured into the distance. And when you put it in an orthographic view, you raise an elevation and it makes no difference on a flat Earth. So he's filling in the gaps, or what Professor Dave Explains YouTube channel host Dave Farina has stated. However, what he actually stated was, on a flat Earth, it's counterintuitive to suggest, as we experience, that you see further when you raise an elevation, because when you raise an elevation on a flat Earth, the horizon gets further away, for God's sake. Like,
but he didn't say that.
He did.
He didn't say on a flat Earth. He didn't say that. He wasn't specific about that. So it's ye who are filling in things, not me and Adam. He didn't say those words.
I'm telling you, that's what he said.
He didn't say those words.
We need some
J's.
J's.
We need some J's. Isn't it funny that the thing has gone off the screen, Adam? We were being accused of filling in what he was saying or thinking, yet it's not us at all.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the entire BALLBUSTERS team for making today. No, go on, QE, put it back up.
I'm not putting it back up. The show's over.
Huh? Have you already rounded out?
No, you will. Go ahead and round it out.
Oh, no. You can't do that to me. Come on.
I'm not going through this again. So it's time to go.
Oh, you laboured this. You might as well round out with it by making your point.
It's so prima facie that it's moronic contradiction paradox. I'm not going to do it again.
Maybe if I'm hesitating. Maybe QE is wrong about this, Brian, and that's why he's hesitant.
Yeah, that's why I want to go. Round it out.
Fine. With that cliffhanger, I'm going to say first and foremost, of course, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you watching live, smashing the super chat, joining QE's membership program, which I don't know if he's got or not. Have you got a membership program on this channel?
I do not.
Hitting his PayPal link and all that good stuff. Of course, another massive thank you to today's Ballbusters panel and the mild interaction from the public that we did have at the start of the stream. So thank you for that as well. Also, of course, a massive thank you to our host and MC for this evening, Brian and QE. I've been Nathan Oakley, and we will see you all in the next Ballbusters.